Tonight, New Year's travel chaos at airports as millions try to get home from the holiday. More than 2,500 flights canceled today, thousands more delayed. Airlines hit with a 1-2 punch of staffing shortages due to COVID and extreme weather across the country, from snow to thunderstorms, even flooding. 3 people now missing and feared dead after the most destructive wildfires in Colorado history. Nearly 1,000 homes destroyed.
I didn't know if I was going to even make it.
The record surge in COVID cases, so many calling in sick, it's impacting critical services. 20% of the NYPD out. Some school districts going back to remote. Others mandating all students get tested. Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? The new science of Omicron that some experts hope may bring an end to the pandemic sooner.
Pretty much everybody will have some immunity to this virus come the spring.
No more surprises. A new law banning unexpected medical bills goes into effect today. What you need to know so you aren't overcharged. And on this New Year's Day, after so much time apart, we celebrate the reunions this past year that gave us reason to smile.
This is NBC Nightly News with Jose Diaz-Balart.
Good evening, I'm Kate Snow in for Jose. Happy New Year. And on this holiday weekend, there are millions of Americans moving through airports after celebrating with family and friends. Unfortunately, a lot of them are running into delays, not just because of the Omicron variant that has sent flight crews home sick, but also because of the weather tonight. More than 2,500 flights were canceled today, and already we know about more than 1,000 flights that are canceled for Sunday. Snow continues through the middle of the country with the heaviest bands in the Midwest and Great Lakes area. Throw in more snow, freezing rain, and heavy rain moving east tomorrow, and you have a mess on the roads, too. We begin tonight with Carrie Sanders.
For those traveling by air, this first day of 2022 looks a lot like the final days of last year.
I'm also just wanting to go home at the end of the day. I didn't want to kick off the new year like this.
FlightAware showing on top of those canceled flights more than 3,000 delayed. Airline staff shortages, a result of COVID, partially to blame. The Flight Attendants Union not happy the CDC cut quarantines from 10 to 5 days.
Maybe a short-term fix to staffing problems, possibly, but long-term hurt as more and more people are infected and we extend the life of the pandemic.
Ted and Lita Burr came to Florida for a 7-day vacation in the Keys. They've now spent 5 more days trying to get home. Your first flight was canceled because of
COVID.
And this one is delayed now because of
the weather.
I say I got chemo at 7 o'clock in the morning Monday.
So you need to get home.
And it don't look like we're gonna make it.
Traveling with 5 kids, especially trying with cancellations. The Melman family was to leave Friday, Fort Lauderdale to Denver on Spirit Airlines. After a maddening 4-hour wait to talk to the airline, they rented a car, drove 4 hours to stay with relatives in Orlando. Hopefully they'll get out tonight.
You know, you can either laugh or cry, and in the words of Marjorie P. Hinckley, crying gives me a headache, so you might as well laugh.
Weather tonight making matters worse. 42 million people under winter alerts. In Kentucky, severe flooding leading to water rescues, which is why flights in and out of the region are also delayed.
And Carrie's with us now. Carrie, how much longer are these delays and cancellations expected to last?
Well, with the weather and COVID still spreading, causing some flight crews to call in sick, the delays will be here and some cancellations tomorrow, and the experts say for the coming days. Kate?
All right, Carrie, thank you. Let's go to Colorado now, where communities are still reeling from the most destructive wildfire in that state's history. Authorities say 3 people are now feared dead, and nearly 1,000 homes were destroyed in the Boulder area. Emily Aketa is there.
Tonight, sobering news in Colorado in the aftermath of the monstrous Marshall Fire. 3 now missing, and officials fear the worst.
We unfortunately believe these are going to turn into recovery cases. We're calling in cadaver dogs and search teams to help us with an effort tomorrow.
Hutch Armstrong says family lost track of his 91-year-old grandmother while they were evacuating their home. No word from Nadine Turnbull since.
They tried to go out the front door with the neighbor. It was engulfed. Check the back door. It was engulfed.
Turnbull's home among the nearly 1,000 destroyed, with more than 100 additional homes damaged. The fate of so many homes coming down to luck, as you can see here in Superior, a completely destroyed neighborhood on one side of the street, untouched homes on the other.
I walk out my front door, and this is what I see.
Today, with the investigation into the cause of the fire ongoing, authorities executing a search warrant at an undisclosed location, as the recovery process is complicated by weather whiplash. First fire, now ice.
The structures where these folks would be are completely destroyed and covered with about 8 inches of snow right now. So our ability to attempt to search and recover from those structures is very much impeded right now.
Residents beginning to access some charred neighborhoods. Catherine Lopez narrowly escaped, abandoning her car in a mad dash for safety.
Was there a moment where you thought, I could lose my life in this situation?
Yeah, definitely. I even, told my son I loved him. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out.
Police drove her out of the danger zone.
It was just flames flying in the air. I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Tonight, the force of nature burned into the memory of Boulder.
We hope that within the next couple days, we can help families, perhaps recover remains.
Oh, Emily, it's just so awful. She joins us from Superior. What's the status of the fire itself at this point?
Kate, officials say the snow helped tame the fire tremendously, but crews are still working to put out flare-ups. You can see the home behind me smoldering. Kate?
Yeah, we do see that. Emily, thank you. To the other big story now that no one wanted to be telling in 2022, Omicron is surging across the nation with no sign of slowing down. Employees calling in sick, not just impacting the travel industry, but also one of the largest police departments in the country and forcing some schools to go remote again. Ann Thompson has all that.
With the start of 2022, the nation hopes to turn the page on COVID. But in many places today, it is more of the same. This drive-up testing site in Raleigh, North Carolina, busy on a holiday.
Just to be safe, so I'll probably stay isolated until I get a negative result.
A soggy wait in New York City for tests that could take up to 7 days for results, as kids, travelers, and workers seek answers to, do I have COVID?
We have seen shortages in the travel industry. We have seen shortages in the healthcare industry caused by Omicron. Can we anticipate this to ripple across the economy?
I think so, because this variant, Omicron, is causing so many cases simultaneously. It has the ability to make it so that we can actually staff the things that we need to do.
Here in New York City, 21% of the police force is out sick. Now with the CDC reporting high community transmission in every state.
I want to go back to school.
Return to school will be a test in itself for students, teachers, and parents.
Last year, really challenging. So if we can keep these schools open and keep them going with their education.
Across the country, a patchwork of standards. At Seattle's public schools, there will be no classes Monday, but voluntary COVID tests instead. In the nation's capital, D.C. students will need to show a negative test to return. It will be remote learning in Cleveland for the first week of the year, and in Newark, New Jersey, the state's largest school district, students are virtual until at least January 18th.
The week before winter break and then the days leading up to winter break, the numbers were unlike we had ever seen before.
Yet New York's new mayor says the nation's largest school district will stay open.
We can't close down our city every time there's a new variant. We can't allow our children to keep missing school.
Ann joins me now from Times Square. Ann, Happy New Year. So the new mayor of New York saying he's determined to keep things open, but Omicron's already straining city services, right?
It is, Kate, and now it's the fire department warning New York City residents to only call ambulances in medical emergencies. Crews, they say, do not have COVID tests and won't take you for a ride to the hospital just because you want one. Kate?
All right, Ann, thank you. Public health officials obviously are concerned about those rising Omicron case counts, but there's also some positive news tonight from scientists. Multiple recent studies have found Omicron does not seem to affect the lungs like previous variants did, instead suggesting it stays in the upper respiratory system. The question we all want answered as we enter 2022, could we be at a turning point with an end to the pandemic in sight? Here's Gotti Schwartz.
Tonight, cautious optimism from experts studying the most contagious COVID variant so far, saying over the next few months there is a strong chance, vaccinated or not, the majority of Americans will come into contact with Omicron, which not only appears less severe, but is likely pushing us closer to herd immunity.
If you have a very transmissible virus that replaces another virus, and that virus has less of a degree of severity, that would be a positive outcome.
Omicron made up the majority of cases in the U.S. just weeks after first being detected.
Pretty much everybody will have some immunity to this virus come the spring.
Early research shows a risk of hospitalization and death dropping by more than half for the new strain. In fact, one study found patients infected with Omicron may have increased protection against more severe variants like Delta.
We'll have more variants. I'm actually convinced that we'll have more variants, but each of them will impact us less and less.
In London, hard hit by the variant, the peak may have already passed. And in South Africa, where Omicron first spread wildly in November, the government said on Thursday the worst was over with no major spike in deaths.
Could we be seeing the end to the most dangerous part of this virus?
Not now. The next month, 4, 6, maybe 8 weeks are going to be terrible. But there are a lot of signs that say that February might be okay and maybe even better than okay.
Still, doctors are urging people not to let their guards down just yet.
The more we allow the Omicron variant to spread across the country, the more it itself will mutate, and you could give rise to new, potentially more dangerous variants.
It's why experts say the future could include regular booster shots similar to the flu.
The key is that we are turning this disease into something benign, into the common cold, not something that's going to land you in the hospital, not something that's going to kill you.
Health officials hoping this is a turning point for the pandemic, and some researchers think that the U.S. will hit its peak by mid-January. Kate?
Let's hope so. Let's hope so, Gotti. Thank you. Still ahead tonight, the new law banning most surprise medical bills, how it could save you thousands of dollars. A new year means a lot of new laws are going into effect today across the country, including one that puts a ban on something that impacts and shocks millions of Americans every year: surprise medical bills. Ali Vitale has what you need to know.
In the middle of the night on April 20th, Stacy Jackson heard a knock.
There was a deputy at the door, and he said that the only thing he knew was that my son had been shot in the abdomen.
Her son's injuries were thankfully not severe enough to warrant surgery, and he soon went home to recover. But then came the bills. The helicopter ride to the hospital alone cost more than $26,000.
I thought, surely this isn't possible.
Stacy is one of the millions of Americans stunned by surprise medical bills every year from doctors or services outside their network. But starting today, a new law makes that a thing of the past.
This is a change that needed to happen, and this really should benefit patients.
The No Surprises Act means Americans will no longer have to worry about unforeseen fees when seeking medical care, including for air transport to hospitals. Patients will still be required to pay their deductibles, but won't receive extra bills from out-of-network providers, who will resolve any claims directly with insurance companies. Any unresolved disputes can be handled through an independent resolution process, with a new online complaint system already live. And providers could now be fined up to $10,000 for wrongful billing. Nevertheless, experts say patients still need to be vigilant.
If you think it's too much, I think the first call is to whomever sent you the bill and just tell them, I think this is the wrong amount. I want this to be corrected.
For Stacy, whose charges were ultimately settled after more than 7 months of negotiations, these changes are reassuring, especially during the pandemic, with unexpected medical crises now all too common.
I think this bill is a great thing because this isn't a situation that's unique. This happens to people every day.
Ali Vitale, NBC News.
The ban on medical bills is far from the only law going into effect today. Pete Williams now on the many new rules that start today.
Students entering high school in Ohio in the new year won't be allowed to graduate until they complete a course in financial literacy about such issues as taxes and interest rates. Many students say it's what they need to know.
I would say, yeah, that undoubtedly most important because it helps you manage your money.
As of today, it's illegal to chain up your dog in Texas. Any outdoor restraint must be lighter and more flexible, and dogs must have adequate shelter, shade, and water.
Texas wants to lead the way when it comes to animal abuse. And with this new tethering bill, I think we're going to be able to do that.
But once again, Governor Greg Abbott at first vetoed the law, then signed a new version after he was hit by a flood of tweets with the hashtag Abbott hates dogs. A new law in Nevada makes it illegal for insurance companies to deny coverage to homeowners based on the breed of dogs they have. In Washington state, home to tech giants, a new law requires anyone selling a house to disclose whether the property has internet service. Florida will now require child care providers to install alarms in any car, bus, or van that will alert drivers to make sure everyone is out before locking up, to reduce deaths from children stuck in hot cars.
It's going to be maybe a financial burden. We don't really know yet, but if it's going to keep the children safe and save lives, we'll do it.
And Oregon says cheers by allowing the sale of cocktails to go even after the pandemic ends.
We do need to improve upon that portion of our business, and certainly will be doing so in the future.
Drinks must be sold in a sealed container to be opened at home, where they can help toast the new year. Pete Williams, NBC News, Washington.
Cheers, Oregon. We are back in a moment with the payday after game day, how college players are finally cashing in. Hey, it's a big weekend in college football with teams squaring off in several bowl games, but it's not just a trophy on the line. There are also billions of dollars at stake. And now a big change to the rules means college players can get some of that money for themselves. Steve Patterson now on how it's changing the game.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Joe Spivak. I have officially joined the newly announced NIL program.
The new era of college athletics has kicked off. Joe Spivak, a graduating Northwestern University defensive lineman, is in the first class of students who can now start cashing in on the $18 billion college sports industry. This fall, the General Counsel for the National Labor Relations Board issued this memo supporting NCAA athletes who can now collect payment on their name, image, and likeness, or NIL.
I'm jacked up for the NFL. I'm going at it with everything I have while getting my iron hot for the WWE, and I'm going to be ready to go.
He just signed with World Wrestling Entertainment, the WWE.
To allow college students to
sort of monetize and utilize their name, image, and likeness, it's opened up an avenue for us.
WWE superstar and executive Paul Triple H Levesque signed 15 college athletes after the rule change.
This allows them to have that open door to earn money while in college.
What's going on, world? DTR here, and I'm officially partnered with Cameo.
UCLA quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson, sidelined from the Holiday Bowl due to positive COVID cases on his team, now finding fame off the field. He's growing his brand as a spokesperson on Cameo and launching a clothing brand with his mother.
I think the biggest thing for me is that it gives me a lot of options to do it kind of whatever I want. If you can be your own boss.
Thompson-Robinson is among a few college football stars developing limited edition NFTs, online digital collectibles developed with the company Candy Digital.
To be able to put a little bit of money in our pockets and in our families' pockets is definitely a blessing.
A new generation of athlete entrepreneurs finally able to capitalize on their talent.
And I am a future WWE superstar.
Steve Patterson, NBC News.
When we come back, the moments so many were waiting for, heartwarming reunions after spending so much time apart. There's good news tonight on this New Year's Day as we reflect on the power of reunions. 2021 saw a whole lot of them, and we're hopeful there will be a lot more getting together with loved ones in this new year to come. These are the moments we've been waiting so long for.
You're almost as tall as me now. Oh my God.
An emotional embrace. After so many of us were apart.
It's so good to hug you.
Those first hugs.
Somebody special's here to see you.
What so many grandparents missed. Zooms and FaceTimes finally replaced by walks in the park, family trips, and selfies with friends. A new appreciation for even the simplest moments.
Hey, Grandma's here.
I love being around my grandkids. I'm just really glad that this is, I see it maybe coming to an end, hopefully. I got it.
I got it.
I got it.
I got it.
The pandemic has been hard on all of us. But there were sweet reunions at airports. After months and miles of distance, two best friends finally seeing each other after too long.
You just made my day. I feel like I'm dreaming.
And after special days we missed, this mom finally hugging her daughter after nearly 15 months.
Let's go!
The family traditions we thought we'd lost.
Wow!
But were always in our hearts.
I came through a rough bout with COVID, and I'm able to be here with all of you today, and it means the world to me.
One Texas family reuniting with a loved one who'd been abroad since COVID kept them apart.
You never think that your family is going to be separated for 2 years. It's been a hard 2 years.
And then there were these surprises. The emotional moment a U.S. Air Force Master Sergeant returned from a months-long deployment.
As soon as I saw him, my eyes were flooding. There was tears of joy. I just felt so good having him back.
Military families reuniting meant so much more. This dad, just back from Kuwait, disguised as a referee, also surprising his son on the football field. Connections that reminded us, during the most difficult times, nothing is more important than our loved ones. If there is one thing we've all gained during this pandemic, it is perspective on what really matters. That is NBC Nightly News on this Saturday. I'll be back with you here tomorrow. I'm Kate Snow. For all of us at NBC News, stay safe. Have a happy new year.
can't believe it. I can't believe it. My God.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.
Yeah, and Mikel Arteta makes one change to the team. That beat Norwich on Boxing Day. That changes Tomiyasu goes back into his right back slot. White, Gabriel Tierney across the back. Ramsdale, 9 clean sheets. Very, very impressive in 16 games this season. Xhaka and Partey just there at the base of that midfield. Don't go too far. They allow the players ahead of them real good balance. Martinelli, Odegaard, Saka share 13 goals between them. And Lacazette, he's got a huge boost from wearing that captain's armband. 2 goals and 3 assists in his last 4 games.
3 changes though to this side, and Rodri's one of those changes, comes in to replace Fernandinho in the middle of the midfield. Silva and De Bruyne about as good as it gets for them in midfield. Another couple of changes in that front line. Raheem Sterling comes back in, scored 4 straight Premier League appearances now. And then the other 2 that's kind of difficult to know where they're going to play. Riyad Mahrez always seems to play on the right-hand side.
Football has no place for racism. So come on then, 2022, what have you got for us? New page in the diary, fresh personal promises, reignited ambitions. But for English football...
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch highlights all season long, and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend at 7 a.m. Eastern. And for even more content, head over to Peacock, where we've got live games, original series, and a dedicated round-the-clock Premier League channel featuring studio shows, classic matches, and much more.
Hey, Mr. Freeman, I had a bunch of messages for you, but we had a system crash about 20 minutes ago, and I'm still trying to find my files. Just one of those days, I guess.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 20 video games that reinvented gaming.
You know how expensive this gear is, son?
Tell that to the Covenant.
For this list, we'll be going over the games that left the biggest impact on the gaming industry, either through innovative new features or gameplay, or else because they helped popularize them. If there's a landmark video game we somehow didn't spot, please point it out to us in the comments. Number 20, Goldeneye 007. Although it hasn't aged particularly well, GoldenEye 007 is still rightfully considered an important video game. Essentially, it paved the way for first-person shooters to make the jump to consoles after being almost exclusively on the PC. Its campaign's objective-based missions that feature different gameplay variety, including vehicle sections, became influential for later games in the genre. Perhaps most importantly, GoldenEye's multiplayer made it a smash success and a fixture of college dorms and parties. Perhaps most miraculously of all, GoldenEye 007 proved that movie tie-in games don't have to be terrible. Number 19, Batman Arkham Asylum. A superhero game that rescued its whole genre, Batman Arkham Asylum delivers a suspenseful, satisfying story with great voice acting and spectacular gameplay. It's the last of these that has earned it so many copycats. Its combat system is fluid, acrobatic, and most of all, fun, and has been imitated by plenty of other games. In addition, Detective Vision, or something like it, has been a hallmark of games across genres since its release. Arkham Asylum didn't invent many of its best features, but it certainly polished them to such a high degree that everyone sat up and took notice.
Always with the hero speed. Ooh, I'm getting bored of watching you. Why don't you just come find me?
Number 18. Bioshock.
Rapture. City where the artist would not fear the censor, where the scientist would not be bound by petty morality.
This FPS RPG hybrid wasn't the first of its kind, but it has definitely left an impact on the last few decades of gaming. Bioshock combines political commentary, fast-paced action, and a gorgeously unique setting to create something that captures everyone's attention.
There's two ways to deal with a mystery. Uncover it, or eliminate it.
Its use of audio logs to convey a story, combining weapons and magic, as well as a choice between playing more heroically or more like a villain, have all become staples across many gaming genres. While its influence has led some to contend that its flaws are more glaring, we would kindly ask that everyone appreciate Bioshock's merits and the mark it left on gaming.
Would you kindly pick up that shortwave radio? I don't know how you survived that plane crash, but I've never been one to question Providence.
Number 17. Street Fighter II: The World Warrior.
Round one, fight!
The fighting game genre didn't begin with Street Fighter II, but it may as well have. Street Fighter II almost single-handedly brought back arcades during the 1990s and made a big splash on consoles as well. It took everything from the previous game and refined it to perfection, and then its numerous re-releases and remasters refined them even further. Its combo system, varied characters who all have their own strengths, and ability to fight PvP have since become the gold standard for fighting games. Easy to pick up but difficult to master, Street Fighter II still has a devoted following to this day.
Round two, fight!
Number 16. Half-Life.
Hey, Mr. Freeman. I had a bunch of messages for you, but we had a system crash about 20 minutes ago, and I'm still trying to find my files. Just one of those days, I guess.
Half-Life is one of the most influential FPS games ever made. The player controls scientist Gordon Freeman as he tries to escape an alien invasion in a secret facility. The level of immersion in this game was almost unprecedented, featuring lots of exploration and few cutscenes, telling its story mostly through gameplay and scripted events. Half-Life also features more puzzles and platforming than was typical for the genre at this time. In addition, its engine became the basis for many popular mods, which went on to become popular franchises in their own right, such as Counter-Strike. Despite its title, Half-Life's legacy has been long.
Got one.
Number 15. Final Fantasy VII. RPGs were around for decades before Final Fantasy VII. It was the 7th entry in its franchise after all, but prior to its release, it was still not a widely popular genre of video game, and the few popular RPGs in the West were Western in origin. Final Fantasy VII showed the world that JRPGs aren't just good, they're amazing. FF7 hit on all cylinders with its engaging characters and massive story. Its huge success contributed to PlayStation's early viability as a console and ensured that generations of RPGs and RPG fans were influenced by its blend of fantasy and cyberpunk. Number 14. The Sims.
Oh, voila! Vamos, Nana.
The first major life simulation game, The Sims allows players to simulate the lives of created characters as they go about their days. The degree of freedom allowed in doing whatever you want with The Sims was unprecedented at the time. Everything from daily chores to life-altering decisions are yours to decide on or put off. While deaths occur, it's possible to play it forever. Life simulation has become a common feature in games since its release, particularly RPGs, and it also helped popularize the life simulator in general. Number 13. Halo Combat Evolved.
And Cortana. Let's give our old friends a warm welcome.
I've already begun.
The first Halo game is aptly named, since while it didn't invent the whole FPS starring a space marine fighting aliens thing, more on that later, it did mark the next evolution of this trope and FPS games in general. Its controls remain responsive and hold up to today's standards. Its story is ambitious and fits seamlessly with the gameplay.
Sir, the captain needs you on the bridge ASAP. Better follow me.
Its multiplayer was the next big sensation, and its sequel, Halo 2, which nearly made our list, helps popularize online multiplayer on consoles. Halo Combat Evolved also proved a trendsetter with features like a more realistic 2-weapon limit and a less realistic regenerating health. If nothing else, it proved you could take gaming soundtracks to a new level of epic. Number 12. Metroid. Two games birthed the Metroidvania genre, and while Castlevania also deserves a nod, Metroid came first, and, we would argue, did it better. Metroid follows bounty hunter Samus Aran as she must explore and battle alien villains throughout the labyrinthine tunnels of an alien world. Instead of the individual levels of its peers, Metroid features a single enormous map broken into smaller screens that players must jump, shoot, and roll through, collecting power-ups and defeating bosses along the way. It's also one of the first games to feature a female protagonist, and a badass one at that. While Metroid may not have the mainstream success or recognition of many of our other entries, it has influenced plenty of games, particularly among indie titles. Number 11. Pac-Man. What's so revolutionary about a yellow circle that eats pellets and avoids ghosts? How successful it was! Pac-Man was a runaway success, becoming a mainstay of arcades and seeing ports to nearly every system in the 1980s. Not only that, but it also spawned merchandise galore and even a hit song. Pac-Man fever was real, and it was the beginning of video games becoming not just a niche market, but a big part of a larger one. Oh, there's also the small matter of Pac-Man's simple yet addicting gameplay and iconic design. What is in those power pellets? Number 10. Grand Theft Auto 3.
I know this guy. He's connected. His name's Luigi. Me and him go back, so I could probably get you some work. Come on, let's head over there.
There were open-world games before Grand Theft Auto 3, sort of. But it wasn't until this game arrived that open-world games became what they are today, because everyone copied it. GTA 3 features a map of unprecedented size for its time, as well as the freedom to do just about anything within the aptly named Liberty City. Its influence can be found in open-world games and other genres alike, as building games around story missions and side missions is practically a staple of gaming now. GTA 3 has seen plenty of controversy over the years, but that has arguably only helped its success.
Joey!
Number 9. Minecraft. You're shocked, we can tell. Unless you've been living under a rock for the last 10 years, you know that Minecraft changed the industry. With its simple polygonal graphics, Minecraft doesn't look cutting edge, but it's in its gameplay and potential that the game has found its success. The ability to build and craft items after mining for materials is innately satisfying, as is the potential to build nearly anything you can conceive of in a virtual space. Games of all genres have taken cues from Minecraft, and crafting has become commonplace in every other game these days. Not only that, but Minecraft itself has remained popular and is still widely played. Number 8. World of Warcraft.
What can I do for you?
Speaking of long-lasting games, World of Warcraft has been going strong since its release, and it's hardly surprising. It's the MMORPG. There were other MMOs before it, and there have been plenty after it, but none have attained the meteoric success of WoW or have been as influential on the others. WoW popularized instance dungeons as well as raiding with large parties, and its massive world is at once full of detailed lore, but also built around entertaining the player. The gameplay is addictive, and at its peak, the game had around 12 million subscribers. Number 7. Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat may have been riding on the wave of fighting games that followed in the wake of Street Fighter II, but arguably had an even bigger impact on gaming at large. While it's a solid fighter with a more realistic style, some great characters, and all the usual special moves, what really left its mark on the industry is how violent it is.
Raiden wins.
There's been violence in video games practically since their invention, but Mortal Kombat is almost single-handedly responsible for the modern video game rating system. Without Mortal Kombat, we're sure moral panic crusaders would have found some other game to get upset about, but as it is, MK has the dubious honor of founding the ESRB and similar organizations.
Liu Kang wins. Flawless victory.
Number 6. Doom. Speaking of incredibly violent games, Doom is another that left its mark on gaming. While not technically the first FPS, Doom codified many of its tropes and popularized them, to the extent that for years afterwards, FPS games were initially labeled Doom clones. When an entire genre of gaming is literally named after you, that's when you know you've made it. Doom also introduced the now prevalent Space Marine protagonist and helped inspire many horror or horror-related games through its demonic enemies. FPS games have dominated a large part of the market for decades, and we wouldn't have any of them without Doom. Number 5. The Legend of Zelda. The Legend of Zelda series has been one of the most impactful franchises in gaming history. As tempting as it was to discuss Ocarina of Time and its impact on 3D adventure games, the first game in the series is even more important. The original Legend of Zelda helped pioneer many concepts and features that adventure games still utilize, including a fantasy setting, inventory screens, a mini-map, as well as a non-linear overworld that feels years ahead of its time. It was also the first console game capable of saving progress, which is kind of a big deal. As cliche as it is to say, The Legend of Zelda is a legendary part of gaming history. Number 4. Tetris. So simple, and yet so addictive, Tetris tasks players with matching blocks of various shapes into rows to eliminate them and prevent them from stacking too high. Studies have been done on the effect playing it has on the brain. It has been remade and remastered countless times on everything from consoles to phones, which has ensured its place among the top-selling games ever made. Tetris essentially started the puzzle genre. Without it, an entire genre of gaming probably wouldn't be the same, and what feels like half of mobile games wouldn't exist. Number 3. Pong. To the modern eye, Pong doesn't look like anything special. It's two paddles hitting a pixelated ball back and forth. It wasn't even the first video game title or the most complex of its peers, but it was the game that jump-started the gaming industry's popularity. Its simplicity meant anyone and everyone could pick up and play it. Pong was instrumental in the success of not only early arcade machines, but also the first home consoles. It laid the foundation the gaming industry was built on. Not bad for some little pixel paddles, eh? Number 2. Super Mario Bros. Yep, it was only a matter of time before we got to Mario. While not the famous plumber's first game, Super Mario Bros. Basically invented the 2D platformer, inspiring decades of games and launching one of gaming's longest-running juggernaut franchises. Its controls are precise, its music, characters, and levels are all iconic. Given its degree of success, it's sometimes seen as the game that pulled console gaming out of the hole it was in after the gaming crash of 1983. And because of how widely played it is, the influence of Super Mario Bros. Has echoed throughout the gaming industry. If you look hard enough, you're sure to find something in most games that can be traced back to it.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Super Mario 64.
Dear Mario, please come to the castle. I have baked a cake for you. Yours truly, Princess Princess Toadstool. Peach.
Look, we usually try to keep things to one entry per franchise, but come on, it's Mario! It's only natural that the biggest landmark games are from gaming's most famous franchise. If Super Mario Bros. Reinvented 2D games, then Super Mario 64 is the benchmark for 3D ones. Open level design and emphasis on exploration echo in open world games today. Even something as simple as an adjustable camera was so revolutionary that there's even an in-game explanation to explain what it is. Super Mario 64 fired the imaginations of gamers and game developers alike and gave us a whole new dimension to play in. Wahoo! Indeed.
In the mood for more awesome gaming content? Be sure to check out this video here on Mojo Plays. And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.
Hey guys, welcome to the Brain Dead Podcast. I'm here with Orion, Carson, Matt, and myself in the humble abode of Carson's room.
So today, we're actually going to be talking about a couple different things. First up on our topics today, we have Cyberpunk 2077, an upcoming game for PlayStation 4. Do you guys think that we could be seeing a possible port to PlayStation 5 for this game?
Absolutely. I think it's going to open up for the game.
You think it's going to launch for it?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a launch title because people are either going to love it or they're going to hate it
I thought Cyberpunk was more of a launching more on the Xbox, so that's what it's kind of advertising towards at the moment.
Really?
Yeah.
They're advertising Xbox exclusive?
Or not Xbox exclusive, but as the home platform, you know.
Oh, so yeah, okay.
It's probably going to launch with the new Xbox.
Project Scarlet, yeah, whatever it is now.
I have a lot of faith in the character customization of the game as well. All the cybernetic enhancements and shit that you can get. I've read into it on Game Informer. It's very. I'm looking forward to playing it.
I was kind of disappointed by the fact that it was going to be in first person rather than third person.
Oh, it's in first person?
Yeah, it's supposed to be in first person. It's going to be basically what it is. It's going to be like a Far Cry set in futuristic settings.
Oh, fuck yeah!
They teased it in The Witcher.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know they teased it.
I didn't play The Witcher.
I played The Witcher, I just never got around to the teaser part of it.
Damn. Yeah, that happens sometimes. What do you guys think it's going to end up getting rated when it comes out?
I honestly, for how much they're putting in to this, I have good faith for good scores, kind of. I'm thinking somewhere around 80. Like a solid B. Probably better, B+, A-.
Yeah, I'm thinking A- more so.
I think it's gonna get a real shitty rating at the most because people are putting in so much faith that it's gonna be a good game, and then they're gonna get rushed into it.
I do have to agree with Matt there. I do feel like people are increasing their expectations, so I feel like it's still gonna be a good game overall, and it's gonna be a great buy. But I feel like it's gonna get a worse rating because people already have these Magoo goggles on for the game. And it's going to come out, and they're going to be disappointed.
Alright, so you know what it is, though? Keanu. It's all about fucking Keanu.
Yeah, Keanu
the fucking legend.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not going to lie, dude. I was excited about the game without fucking Keanu, but once I figured it out, I just got so fucking hyped.
Isn't he the main bad guy?
I thought he was... I don't fucking know. I really
He is the main bad guy.
Oh, okay.
Let's have somebody pull up the trailer quick, and we'll rewatch it, and we'll go over some ideas.
Throw it up on the screen there, bud.
Sure, we can do that as well. Alright, so we have taken a brief moment to just review the trailer for you guys, just to give you guys some refreshed thoughts. Of course, these were thoughts that have been based off previous experiences and views from the game. So now that we've actually seen the trailer, what do you guys think in terms of actual gameplay? How many hours of gameplay do you expect this will have?
I'm not gonna lie, the fact that they've been hyping up and saying this game has been worked on for so long, I'm expecting a lot of side content in the game.
Just looking at the trailer, the world looks fucking detailed as shit.
Yes. I'd like to,
I feel like it's more of like a baby for the development team than anything, so they're gonna put their heart and souls into it.
Well, I'm confused as to whether it's gonna be is it going to be like an open game, or are you going to have to do mission all the time?
I actually have the same question.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be like a Grand Theft Auto type.
I was literally thinking the same thing. The only thing
I'm hoping, but GTA isn't first person.
Well, no, that doesn't matter. Oh, there's a first person mode you can get in GTA on the consoles, I know what you mean. But like the way I'm kind of thinking about it is, I'm thinking about like this kind of open world in the sense where it's GTA, where it's fucking huge, but there's like there's a lot of detail, but there's not like a whole lot of content to be had in it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's not like fucking Skyrim, for example, where there's literally, you can go into fucking anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally side quests everywhere, you gotta go find them, which I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hope that this game's gonna have, but, you know, knowing that it's not like a...
I have a lot of hope for this game. But I just hope it doesn't fall flat.
Honestly, I wouldn't even be disappointed if it was just more of an open world thing and not filled with quests to keep you busy, and it just expected you to explore and appreciate itself.
Really, I just want to dick around in this world. This world seems fucking cool.
I kind of see it. If it would be an open world title, I would kind of honestly see it as an alternative, like a cyber alternative to Grand Theft Auto 5.
I was comparing it to Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild because that's exactly what I hope it to be. I don't expect it to be, it's forcing you into a gameplay style and certain mechanics. It's expecting you to play based on how you want in an open world environment, and then it's just got a story in the background.
But the thing about Legend of Zelda is Zelda took open world to a whole different level because there was no specific story. You could literally go and kill Ganon right from the beginning of the game.
Exactly.
Most games, when you have an open world, you can't beat it right off the bat. There's still a story you have to play. So are you hoping for them to follow the innovation of Nintendo with the actual new idea of open world that they showed with Legend of Zelda? Or are you more interested in seeing something more like the likes of Grand Theft Auto or Saints Row, where it's open world, but there's still a set story that you can go, say, do missions at?
I feel like Saints Row is a perfect comparison for what I expected of Cyber.
Honestly.
First-person Saints Row game would be absolutely fantastic.
That was a good pick.
Yeah, that would be a great choice. Do you guys expect to see this game in 1080p and 4K? Do you guys expect to see it only in 1080p, 720p? What do you guys think this will run at on current consoles as well as the new generation of consoles, Xbox, Project Scarlet, and all that stuff?
The new generation, I expect it to run, like, beautifully.
Yeah, it should be smooth as butter.
I want to see the fucking pores in Keanu Reeves' face.
Yeah.
It's so fucking detailed. Like, you can see the detail in everything. I want this game to look crisp as hell.
And plus, like, the way they've been hyping it up for all the new systems and shit, I can only imagine that this could only be running at almost, like, the max capacity.
I feel like in terms of PlayStation 5 and Project Scarlet capabilities, it's going to run without even having to think about it. PlayStation 4, I'm not 100% certain because the game was developed with PlayStation 3 and 4 in mind. So it's meant to kind of, take advantage of that hardware more, as opposed to the PlayStation 5, which is supposed to be crazy more powerful than what we currently have.
I suppose.
I don't know what I was going to say.
Damn.
All right. So speaking of Project Scarlet and PlayStation 5, we actually had some announcements on specs this year. If you guys have looked into any of that at all.
Alarm clock.
What do you guys expect the new PlayStation 5 and Project Scarlet to sell for?
Like $500.
Yeah. They're gonna
$500-$600.
It's gonna be way more than what we paid for our Xbox One X here.
See, a lot of people were talking about how with the PlayStation 4 it was cheaper because it was older hardware. They went back to the idea of the PlayStation 3. When the PlayStation 3 came out, it was revolutionary, brand new hardware. Like, nobody had known of it before. Nobody knew how to use it yet. It had to be taught by Sony, basically, how to program and everything. And so when the PlayStation 3 came out, it came out for an absurd price tag, and people refused to buy it. That's why you don't see a lot of fat PlayStation 4s anymore, because nobody ever bought them. Yep. You see Slims and Super Slims all the time because they were cheap. They were $200, $300 as opposed to the $500-$600 that came out.
I mean, also, if you look at the PS2 also, I mean, like, everybody's got a Slim other than the fat ones.
Yeah, I had 2 Slims, actually.
So,
I had a fat
I feel like when it comes to the PlayStation 5, I feel like they're going to go back to the kind of model of the PS3, and it's going to be more expensive, but this time around, the PlayStation 5 is based on architecture that more resembles a PC than really anything else.
A PC design, comparing it to the PS3, where the PS3 was more slim and informal with its line design, how it's more curved and not angular. I don't think a PC's build is more boxed and
I'm not saying a PC's design, I'm saying the price. I'm saying I think that in terms of the hardware capability of the PlayStation 5, it's got the same capabilities as a high-end gaming PC. That's what's been announced, right? So I feel like at that price, it's going to catch a gaming PC premium, which is going to be around the price that we saw initially for the PlayStation 3.
See, the only thing I think I'm more concerned about is that they're releasing something at the price of a gaming PC. People might just think, well, if it's the same price, I might as well just go in and get a PC where I can upgrade it, make the specs.
I do feel like that's going to be a big problem, especially with Microsoft allowing Xbox controllers on their consoles now.
And cross-platform play with almost all Xbox games at this point.
Yeah, so I feel like at this point, Microsoft might eventually try and ditch consoles entirely. And I think they might go to more of a streaming platform or go and base it off Windows and exclusively sell gaming PCs, because that makes more relative sense for people.
It would be so much easier to sell any console if they just went to complete cross-platform play, because
cross-platform play is amazing. When I figured out I could play fucking Minecraft on my phone and hook it up to my Xbox.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah.
That's fucking next level shit, dude.
I know. I was like, fuck, man. We could invite all of our friends over and have like a party and just play fucking Minecraft on our phones.
All right. Kind of off topic here, but speaking of Minecraft, the recent resurgence in Minecraft's like relevancy since 2013, right? It has been. I'm not gonna lie, I'm genuinely impressed.
There's some sick shit being built, man. I was happy with the scaffolding. Like, that was such a smart idea.
I just noticed the other day, Jacksepticeye picked it back up, and he's been doing some more runs on Minecraft and stuff. I feel like now that YouTubers are picking it back up, we're going to see another big wave of it. That said, I don't know if it's going to be nearly as popular as it once was.
Doubt. Literally, all the YouTubers I've watched, like, I watch in general, like Banos Gaming, H2O Delirious, Wildcat, Cartoons is picking it up. They're all going back to Minecraft.
All right, but here's my question. Do you think that YouTubers of the past who sort of lost relevancy, for example, Captain Sparkles, who literally rode Minecraft in the sunset, could see a resurgence. Yeah, Dan TDM would see a resurgence of popularity.
I don't think so. I think once Minecraft died the first time, all those people just let it sit as a part of their life, and if they come back to it, they'll come back to it as a hobby, but not as a business.
Yeah, I do feel like people like Dan TDM are at this point a little too far into other ventures to go back to it. Like, he's invested in so much more media creation in different games, and his channel has expanded so much more beyond just Minecraft gameplay than it used to be. So I feel like he's not going to want to go back to his initial, how he started, because that's less successful for him.
But what I'm saying is, not like more YouTubers that are successful and manage to change their content through relevancy, but like I said, like Captain Sparkles, they could be going back, because literally I feel like
but Captain Sparkles is still thriving in different parts of the community.
Not really. His channel's been bleeding pretty bad.
He's doing alright. Not as good as he was with Minecraft, but he's doing alright. And I'm pretty sure what he's doing now is making him plenty happy, so he would want to leave something that did make him happy versus something that makes him happy in his current state.
As long as you're happy with yourself, that's all that really matters.
Is Sky Does Minecraft still doing video?
I think
he actually posted a video where he was talking about how he wanted to move on and pursue other things.
Really?
Yeah.
So there you go. That I think that just kind of proves that.
Also,
I feel like that.
Also with Sky, he changes. He in a sense, I feel like he also addressed this in the video. He tried to stop swearing more, trying to make his content more family friendly, and then he said, this isn't him, and he went back to his original content with all the vulgarity and his humor, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. That's staying true to yourself, but
what's the point in playing Minecraft if you don't get joy out of playing Minecraft anymore, or playing it for family when you want to play it for yourself? People only like the videos because they enjoyed making them.
Minecraft is for everyone. Everyone should be able to do what they want with it.
Exactly.
Also, fucking parents who, expect YouTubers that play e-game, for example, Minecraft. They expect them to use, E-friendly language in their videos.
E-friendly?
You know what I mean? Something that you can get an E rating on a video. I think that's complete bullshit.
Alright, so here's the cold hard truth. YouTubers are not obligated to parent your fucking kids.
Exactly.
If you cannot handle it, do not let your kids on YouTube. These people that are on YouTube aren't just making videos in their free time. A lot of those people that are writing those videos have thousands of dollars invested into their business. So they're going to do what they want to do. At the end of the day, it's their business. If you don't like it, go to somebody else, go to another video platform, or don't fucking watch it.
Pretty much the way I see it is exactly like TV. There's some channels you cannot let your... there's a layer of parenting where you have to be involved with the child. You can't just fucking...
it's not like the child's not going to be exposed to it anyways.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in middle schools and high schools, it's all just fucking drugs and sex and shit. What's the difference between swearing and drugs?
Oh, no, but I'm not saying more for, literally, you know what I mean? For, YouTube Kids, all that stuff, where YouTube's trying to police content.
If kids want to find it, they will.
I'm just saying,
yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. So parents need to be on top of that. It's not the guy who makes the content's job. The guy who makes the content's job is to deliver the content, not to make it exactly how you want it. Because you gotta remember, content is designed to appeal to a certain subset of people, not to everybody in the world. You can't have a movie that everybody in the world is going to like. That's just the truth. There's going to be people that are going to listen to this very podcast and are going to tell us and look at us and be like, we're the shittiest people on earth. This is the worst podcast they've ever heard in their lives.
Exactly.
Wouldn't doubt them, but, whatever.
Well, yeah, at the end of the day, we're doing it for us, and that's the heart of every creation should be, is that you're doing it for you.
And if you start trying to appeal to people rather than appeal to yourself, your quality is going to falter.
There's a quote from Steve Jobs, and I'm going to paraphrase it because I can't remember it off the top of my head, but he said something along the lines of, if you don't love what you're doing, you're going to do it half-assed.
Oh, yeah.
So you need to be able to do it for yourself. You can't do it for other people. You can't regulate what you want to do for other people. You got to be able to sit there and look at them and be like, hey, I'm a content creator. I'm going to make what I want to make. You can enjoy whatever you want to enjoy. That is your right. My right is to produce what I want to produce.
I have a lot of trouble getting out of the bed and doing shit for myself. I'm not a very hyped person.
And that's why you do everything half-assed.
I know, it's great. That's what my dad's nickname for me used to be, half-ass.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's also because my dad's part Native American, and he's like, hey, that's your Native American name. You're half-ass.
Yes, this is woodcutter, eagle flying, half-ass.
This is the black kettle.
God, dude, I'm not gonna lie, that sounded a little racy, but the joke was still there.
It's fucking...
But you get the point.
Yeah. I mean, my nickname for my brother is Dumbass, so...
I suppose.
Half-ass and Dumbass. Brothers to the end.
I feel like at the end of the day, when it comes to to content creation and stuff like that, I feel like the creators need to do what they want to do, because when you start regulating these content creators, you're going to burn them out. And when you burn them out, they're not going to make that content anymore. So
it's like what happened to Markiplier, dude. He seems like he's burning out because he's becoming more child friendly. Like, I loved him back in the day, and now he's losing his old fans and gaining more new ones. But like, where's the respect for your old roots?
But at the same time, he says he loves what he's doing, so his fans can do nothing but blindly trust what he says and let him produce the content he wants to produce.
I agree with what you say there, but at the same time, when it comes to respecting your roots, there's certain times where you shouldn't go back to them because you have succeeded in life.
We were talking about the Minecraft guy.
There's this YouTuber I watch. His name's John Wolf. He used to be called Harshly Critical, and he often talks about how YouTube's been burning him out and stuff like that. But he's recently been respecting his roots, and some of the videos that he's been doing, it's like old those horror games from 2012, like Slender.
Like indie games.
And he goes back to them, and he still sees that they hold up or not.
See, I'm happy to see people like that. I'm happy to see people going back to their roots, man. It makes me smile.
Well, it's just like, I don't know. I lost it.
So speaking of portable games and games that we typically see on more mobile platforms, Apple did announce their new gaming service that'll be coming this fall. It's called Apple Arcade. They haven't announced any prices on subscriptions or anything like that, but they have announced that it's going to be coming with 100 exclusive titles, including Oceanhorn 2, which is a, if you guys haven't heard of it, a independent title, kind of like Legend of Zelda, that actually was really, really, really well received. The first one came out a couple years ago. It's been on iPhone and iPad stuff for a little while. But their new sequel is going to be a Apple Arcade exclusive. What do you guys expect from Apple Arcade in order for it to be a good gaming service that you guys would enjoy?
I'm still going to use Google Play because I'm only going to have an Android.
Well, I'm saying, like, if you had an Apple phone, what would you want from Apple Arcade to make it a service that you would pay for?
I need quality games.
Cross-platform play with Android.
Please,
You're cutting out half of the population by only including Apple people.
And please cut down the ads on games. That
no, I mean, if you're paying for it, I can only assume that there isn't going to be ads on your games.
I'd imagine it'd be more like, kind of like Amazon Prime for video games.
Yes, and if you're paying for it, cut down the ads.
One of the topics
if you're paying
that is, like, perfect for us to discuss because this room is completely divided on Apple versus Android products.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of people who grew up using Android products and a couple of people who grew up using Apple products, so we only understand what we know.
Yeah.
And me and Justin can't input any good.
Well, I've dabbled in both, but I've kind of stuck in the Apple ecosystem, not even really by choice, kind of more because
the world is more fit to Apple rather than Android.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apple's like the better...
Apple's the popular brand. And here's the thing, is I've heard conflicting reports on this, that Apple is always the leading phone, but at the same time, there's so many Android devices out there that, like, at this point, I really don't think there's somebody who, at the end of the day, has a better market share. Because, sure, whether or not it's, 60-40, 70-30 right now, in 2 months, we're talking about brand new Samsung Galaxy phones, brand new iPhones. We could potentially shift the whole entire market in the course of a month.
It's just like with YouTube. Apple and Android only appeal to a certain type of people.
Yeah.
So certain people might prefer Apple because of its simplicity or the fact that everything is connected between Apple devices, so all of your materials and all of your wires and ports and shit can work on all of your Apple devices. Versus
if you buy the right shit for your Android.
Well, one of the biggest,
that shit too.
The USB-C, that was the worst shit to transfer over to in my house. I've only got one USB-C cable in my entire household. That's the fucking worst.
See, there's pluses and minuses to USB-C being faster transfer rates, but at the same time, you're right. It is hard to find, and USB-C does not have a mandated power rating. So when USB-C initially came out, a lot of people experienced problems buying aftermarket USB-C cables, plugging them into their phones, and their phone not regulating the voltage, so it would actually break their phones.
Exactly. But that's a plus to wireless charging with newer phones because you have more control over how much your phone charges.
My last phone, my last 2 phones, literally, I had plug-in problems because the fucking cable or my phone would not charge.
Except you're just using the micro USB cable.
Yeah,
the
that's okay. That's a big downside of micro USB is I have noticed they're generally pretty weak. USB-C, in my experience, has been pretty strong. But, like I said, it does come with the trade-off of power costs and stuff like that. And USB-C has kind of been more pricey lately, especially with Apple announcing their new Thunderbolt as USB-C, because all the new MacBooks and the new iPad Pro only have USB-C ports. There's no headphone jacks, no USB-A, no Type B, nothing. It's just USB-C. So you have to have dongles and adapters, which really pisses off a lot of Apple people. Being an Apple guy, that drives me nuts because I don't want to have to carry around a $2,000 laptop and a bunch of $100 dongles.
I'm sorry, the word dongle gets me every time.
Like, in terms of like connections like that, personally, my favorite has honestly been Apple's Lightning connector.
I really enjoy the Lightning adapter, yeah.
At the end of the day, in terms of charging, I will take wireless charging any day.
Oh, yeah.
But if I have to use a cable, I prefer Lightning. However, if I'm picking between micro USB, regular USB, or USB Type-C, at this point, I have to say regular USB. Despite it being slower, they're typically stronger, more durable in terms of the actual connector, not the cable. Because the cable is always, based on who makes it. I've had a lot of micro USB cables where the actual metal connector has snapped off.
Oh, yeah.
So
easy. It's the worst.
I know.
It really is.
When it comes to quality control for micro USB, I'm not a big fan there. And USB-C, I feel, just isn't refined enough to become a standard. I feel like if they want to make it a port that they're going to put on every single device, they need to set power standards, and they need to make sure that the devices can regulate the voltage so that we're not destroying thousands of dollars worth of technology. You got to think, the iPhone XS costs $1,000 from Apple, from the factory, right? The next generation Apple phone is not going to be any cheaper. So when they come out with the next iPhone and it has USB-C and someone plugs in the wrong cable, that's $1,000 out of their pocket that they now have to go replace. And I get Apple is going to look at it and they're going to see it as a way to make more money, obviously. Yeah. But no one's going to buy a product if it keeps breaking on them.
They're probably just going to demote and go to Android.
Yeah.
Really.
One of my favorite features with my phone is actually the USB port for it instead of the micro USB, because I absolutely hated having to replace my micro USB cables every couple of months, and I love the fact that I have had one USB-C cable since I've gotten my phone, and it still works perfect to this day.
Yeah, and that's coming from a Note 9 owner and an iPhone XS owner, iPhone 8 owner,
and then a Samsung Orbit G7 piece of shit.
And the USB-C works with my phone and my Switch, and even my wireless charger uses fucking USB-C because it just uses more power and produces more power.
It's technically a far better cable. There is no doubt that it has very great improvements on the technological side, but there are still drawbacks that I do feel need to be addressed before it becomes the mainstream connector. I feel if even Samsung would put in a voltage regulator, particularly in the Galaxy S line, not even the Notes, because yes, the Notes are popular, but they're not as popular. Now, if they would start it with the Galaxy S line and eventually bring it to the Note, I feel that...
Would it be more successful?
Yes, I feel like if they would regulate the voltage on the S series first and bring it to the Note, they can refine it, make it better, and then they can set the standard for voltage regulation for everybody else. That'd be just my thoughts on it. But.
Alright, then let's cut to a different note here. I want to jump on Bethesda. I want to talk about Bethesda really bad.
I am so betrayed by Bethesda. Like, I am actually terrified for Elder Scrolls 6 to come out.
I didn't even know that it was a release title yet.
They announced it at E3 this year.
But, like, with the... Alright, everybody knows at this point Fallout 76 is a complete fucking catastrophe.
It was an absolute mess of a game.
Yes, it
Alright,
was.
but...
I didn't even play it yet, and I know it's...
I played it a bit. I'm not gonna lie. Like, the first hour of the game, I had a good amount of fun, but there are just... I feel like Fallout has just kind of been lost. It was like that nice blend between serious comedy and a great atmosphere, and I'm not saying that the atmosphere
but this is what happened. It had the hype. Fallout 76 had the hype, but then it died.
It wasn't even, like...
It literally is one of those games that was hyped up, and then it fucking just crashed.
It's because Bethesda had started to put in so much time and effort into it, and then they had to rush it out because people wanted it so soon.
People had too high of expectations for it.
I like
Once
the
again,
idea
going back to what we were talking about earlier.
A Fallout game that was multiplayer, because exploring the wasteland alone seemed desolate, and there was still settlements in the wasteland filled with people. Filling it with actual people who built their own things and having more challenge behind...
That idea would have been cool if it was successful.
If it was pulled off right.
Well, here's the thing, but like a lot of people don't know this, but Fallout 76 was actually handed to Bethesda's B team rather than their A team. It was a much smaller team of people who weren't as experienced as the people who worked on like Fallout 4 and previous games. And Bethesda just kept fucking piling shit. Like, we need 4 times the fucking size of Fallout 4. We need like the game to look fucking beautiful.
Why were they piling such massive bullcrap?
Because everybody had such high expectations.
But they all piled
it was
on
coming
their
off
B team,
of Fallout 4, which was such a fucking fantastic game that they didn't expect anything less than perfection from Fallout 76.
Unpopular opinion, I did not like Fallout 4.
No, that is not an unpopular opinion. A lot of people looking back on Fallout 4 realized that the hype train was too big, and let me tell you, I really do, this is my opinion, and let me tell you, I have sunk so many fucking hours into Fallout 4, and the gameplay, it's beautiful, but I feel like the spirit has been lost, because a lot of Fallout 4, the dialogue, I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen the memes, but it's either yes in a happy way, yes in a kind of neutral way, yes in a fucking sarcastic way, and then no, but I'll come back and say yes later so I can progress the quest.
Because they had to like force you down a specific line in order to get the story that they were aiming for. What they should have done is they should have done more of a sandbox type thing instead of putting forced effects on the story. With the dialogue tree, they should have had more options that were like chaotic versus just...
That's exactly Fallout 3 and New Vegas had that, and I really feel like they got rid of that.
They're trying to appeal to more audiences than they were focusing on the game, and with Fallout 76 getting a B team, which I didn't actually know, they're putting so much expectation on somebody who hasn't had an opportunity to build up the skill to meet that expectation, which is probably why it faltered in the first place. They were probably having the A-roll content creators
team.
Yes. They were probably having them work on a bigger project on the side, and then they just shoved Fallout 76 off to the side because they could tell that most people were either going to love it or hate it no matter what they did with it.
But that would be my guess, is actually the A team is probably working on Elder Scrolls 6, which is why the B team was probably handed Fallout 76.
But also, Fallout 76, another big part of it was the atomic shop. And it was literally just a way...
Microtransactions.
Literally, Fallout 76 can be kind of summed up with their extra content as just microtransactions galore. Like, it's... and, like, what tactic that they used was pretty much... You know how fucking Fallout 76 dropped so fucking quick?
Yep.
Well, that's fine, because that brings people into the game, which also brings them into the microtransactions, which eventually...
Fuck microtransactions.
Yeah, but it seems kind of scummy, you know what I mean? But you're paying $5 to have a floor texture, like, what the fuck?
But at the same time, there's always going to be people who will pay that $5 for that floor texture because they've got the money to throw at it, and so they'll keep throwing microtransactions.
But you see a lot of
CSGO don't like it. Yeah. I played the fuck out of CSGO. I spent so much money on that game.
Every time we fucking play Call of Duty together, you will not stop mentioning CSGO. I know.
Because that was my favorite shooter for PC.
It's undeniably a good game, but
it's got... I paid like $20 for the Worm God skin for the
Are
off.
CSGO's
It was
servers
ridiculous.
still booming or not?
They're pretty alright. I've found plenty of games in short times.
That's for sure.
CSGO still has players, but not nearly as much as they did before the whole gambling gate thing.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bethesda, what are your guys' opinions on Elder Scrolls Online?
Okay, here's the thing. Elder Scrolls Online, a lot of unpopular opinion, I kind of enjoyed it. But everybody got into the expectation that it's going to be Skyrim Online, but they didn't realize it was literally an MMO. If people would have went into it thinking that this is an MMO set in the lore of the Elder Scrolls, rather than Skyrim with your buddies, I feel like the game would have done so much better.
I feel like they should have just added an online platform for fucking Skyrim and have you play with your buddies. Just
I think those are mods for those.
I feel like the reason Elder Scrolls Online really didn't take off is because they required you to have a subscription on top of buying the game, on top of having PlayStation Plus or Xbox Live. You paid
so stupid.
$30 to $60 for the game, $300 for your console, at least $60 a year for your online, just to have to pay another $60 to play on their servers? Like, what the fuck?
I played Elder Scrolls Online on PC. I bought it off of Steam, and I only had to buy it one time for the entire run through. I played it.
Oh, yeah.
I played it like an MMO versus an Elder Scrolls game because I grew up with MMOs rather than the Bethesda type titles. I said it wrong, I know.
That's alright.
Bethesda.
Bethesda.
I grew up playing more games that were based on solo play. Like, I played a lot of the Assassin's Creed games. I played a lot of harder games. I played Dark Souls a lot because when I played games, I played them by myself to build up that skill. So when I went into Elder Scrolls Online, I started playing it as an MMO because that's what it was designed to be played as, and it was one of my favorite MMOs that I've ever played.
You know what's a good MMO that I kind of liked, but Final Fantasy 14.
I couldn't afford it, so I couldn't play it.
Never played it as well.
Me and a couple of my friends played it a lot, and I had a good time.
I got a chance to play it with a couple of our good buddies for a little bit, and it was okay, but I feel like at the end of the day, it was kind of lacking in content.
I remember I played, because Seth has it, I remember I played it on his fucking PlayStation, and it was good, but I know I would get bored of it eventually.
It's one of those games
that's a better way to sum it up. It's not lacking on content, it's easier to get bored.
Well, you see, here's the thing with that, though. You have to get yourself a squad together. You need to get people to run dungeons together. You need people to just do everything.
You have to sit down and have the equivalent of Warcraft shit. You have to be invested in the game, and you have to have a group of people who are invested in it.
I'm just saying the game's like 8 times better if you have buddies to play it with.
I tried to play Warcraft after I went through Elder Scrolls, and I tried to play with my dad, who was always a really big Warcraft guy. We would go through and we just crush dungeons with the two of us because we were coordinated.
I remember.
And both of us are made for single player things. We're made to experience things by ourselves because nobody ever gets along with us because of our opinions. When we went into Warcraft, it was like a piece of cake and a piece of shit because there was no challenge to it. It was all just coordination and working together.
Literally, I kind of had a hatred for Warcraft only because my fucking uncles ignored me over it and just locked themselves in their rooms and played it together.
I didn't grow up with Warcraft. I grew up with old school fucking RuneScape. So I grew up mining, using the old arrows, playing on fucking Windows 1998 graphics.
No, man. I didn't grow up.
I didn't have PC gaming growing up. I had a PS2, but the one, I guess, MMO I did have, a little flash game, Realm of the Mad God, dude.
I've heard of that game before.
Yeah, I've heard of that as well.
I know a lot of... I'm not going to lie, I was a little too stupid for the game, but I know people who sunk a shit ton of time into that game.
Yeah. I played Warframe a lot, which is a different type of MMO, but it's still in the same genre.
Warframe is still incredibly popular.
Yes, I loved Warframe. The only difficulty I had with it is it wasn't made to be built around you playing one character. In order to keep progressing, you have to keep getting better with every character. And you have to keep getting better with every weapon because you gain more experience from leveling up lower ranked things than ranking up something that you already have almost max level.
Sounds kind of like when you fucking just start off in Call of Duty, you gotta buy all your fucking guns and shit.
Yeah. Honestly, one of my favorite games in terms of a MMO or role-playing experience lately was actually Fable 3. And I get that game came out a long time ago, and I get a lot of people actually shit on the Fable series, but to me that game kind of had a Skyrim vibe, but it kind of leaned more towards a magical kind of theme than medieval.
I've always looked forward to trying to get fucking Fable for myself and just play through it, because I played it once and I got hooked.
I loved it. It's honestly probably one of my favorite role-playing games.
You can make your own decisions and, be who you want to be.
Well, I mean, it's literally the same thing in Skyrim, though, in that kind of sense. But if you ask me, the best game where you could be what you want to be no matter, what, because it's so vague, Fallout New Vegas. You are literally, in Fallout New Vegas, you are a guy that gets shot in the fucking head. You're not a dad looking for his son. You're not a son looking for his dad. I made myself I literally made a dad build. I was high in repair, high in endurance, low stamina, but I looked like a fucking dad. And I always picked the nicest option, and I was a hero. It was the most fun experience I had.
Whenever I played Fallout New Vegas, I just went through and killed everybody right away. I never did any of the story. I just killed everybody I saw.
That's literally Matt, though. He just guns through everything.
I don't pay attention to what people gotta say. If you're in my way, I'm gonna kill you.
I'm kind of half and half. I either sneak that shit or I go guns blazing. If I do the sneak, if you did the sneak in GTA, I go for the explosions.
Even in games like Dishonored or
I love Dishonored,
stealth-based games, I would just walk through buildings and leave piles of bodies.
See, I can't do that in stealth games. I've been a hardcore stealth gamer, and if it's me, dude, I appreciate the art of sneaking. If you can get through an entire level without alerting anybody, that is that's a day well done.
It's an achievement. It's like the adrenaline rush for sneaking.
My version of stealth is nobody realizing I'm there because they're all dead. Nobody can call for help when you're dead. When I go into Dishonored, everybody dies. That's how it works, because they make you a fucking god.
I don't know. I feel like there's a certain art to getting through a room without alerting anybody to your presence, and I like that a lot.
I can appreciate that. It's just different types of game style. Yeah.
I feel like a good stealth game for that. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell. There are assault builds. Blacklist. I'm saying Splinter Cell Blacklist. There are assault. It's assault where you can fucking get a machine gun and just gun everybody down.
Not even with a machine gun. I will go through and leave bodies with potties. I will go through and leave bodies with fucking sniper rifles, and I'll just walk into a room and start killing people.
But then there's three in Blacklist. There are three different types. And mind you, this is a game that came out on the PS3. There's the Assault, there's the Panther, and then there's the Ghost. Assault is running and gunning. Panther is stealth kills, and Ghost is just, like I said, that art of trying to make it through a room without leaving any trace behind. And Panther's, I'm not gonna lie, Panther's super fucking fun to just kill everybody without everybody knowing.
Yeah.
And
if you guys are interested in a lot of the stealth stuff, what do you guys think about Death Stranding?
Well, that is very not stealth game.
I know, that's why I'm asking.
I'm very excited to see that this is Kojima's first thing out of Konami, considering Metal Gear Solid 5 was fucking put out before it was done. There was supposed to be a Chapter 3, there was supposed to be a nice ending to it. They put out the fucking ending. It was like fucking a summary of what you would do, and a half-ass cutscene of what they finished before Konami said, "Fuck it, the game's done, get it out."
So they basically pushed it out.
Yeah, literally. The base game has such a cliffhanger ending, and unpopular opinion, I liked the plot twist. But that's besides the point. Going back to Death Stranding, I'm very excited to see what Kojima is doing, especially after the cancellation of fucking Silent Hills, because let me tell you, when PT came out, dude, that fucking shook the internet, dude.
Did you get to play the PT demo?
No, I didn't. It is really sad, and I mean...
So, with Kojima going this route in terms of his independent development, do you think at some point he'll want to revisit Metal Gear in terms of possibly like a spin-off?
If Konami will give him the rights to his own game, because Konami...
I mean, kind of more like a parody, I guess.
Oh, you mean
like him creating his own series, but it being along the same lines, along the same kind of stealth aspect of Metal Gear.
I feel like that would give him a lot more freedom in designing it.
I feel like it's something he should look into.
Based on the Metal Gear series, after a while it just got built on that nostalgia factor, and people wanted to see Snake, which is why when they introduced whoever the fuck, I can't even remember his name, the guy with the sword, when they introduced Raiden, everybody just went to shit on it because they were all expecting to see another game with Snake.
Yeah,
it was built on the idea of that character and that type of game. It wasn't built on just the title and being a franchise.
Everybody's hyped on the Snake train.
It's like Halloween in a sense, because the Halloween series was originally supposed to be
an anthology.
Yeah,
and then Season of the Witch came on. Everybody's like, "Where the fuck is Michael Myers?"
Yeah. Basically, when people start trying to express themselves, they get shot down.
Same thing happened in Friday the 13th Part 5 when the fucking spoiler alert for people who haven't seen a fucking old ass movie. Jason wasn't Jason. He was like Roy Burns, I think his name was, which was kind of a clever plot twist, but it was super telegraphed that it was going to happen. But it was a neat idea because Jason was fucking dead before he was like a supreme being that could just fucking pour it in your dick.
Okay, there are so many fucking Jason movies. There are so many bad ones too.
Oh my god, Jason X.
Jason Goes to Hell.
Jason Goes to Hell is like in my opinion, I'd rather watch Jason X.
Yes, really. Fucking Jason Goes to Hell, that was a...
Well, I mean, it was a cool idea. It was a cool idea in the sense that Jason was possessing people, but...
he's not.
It's just there wasn't.
He's not. That's exactly what I mean. People were expecting Jason. They weren't expecting other characters in the same kind of effect. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just Jason, man. Jason isn't Jason.
Can't hand it around.
All right.
I smelled it.
So, what are we gonna do? Let's fucking talk about Hot Tub Time Machine. Why not?
On the topic. Alright, well, Carson's gone.
How was your movie experience so far?
The movie was actually really good to me when I saw it with my dad. Part of the reason that I liked it is because when I was little, I had such an idolization of my dad. And when I saw it, it was such a good movie to him that it just made it so much better to me.
Yeah, my dad literally wanted to watch that movie with me. But we never got the chance to because he's always so busy.
And my dad spent time in and out of jail for child support. So the times that we did get to see movies like Hot Tub Time Machine, it just made the movie so much more spectacular because I was spending time with my dad.
I love the fact that they just decide to get fucked up in a hot tub and they have no idea what the fuck happened.
And it probably set a basis for the rest of my life, in all honesty.
Get fucked up, see what happens.
Something that played such a major role in my childhood versus something that could affect me growing up or my decisions later on in life, subconsciously. I think that movie played a huge role in my effects in drugs and drinking and whatever the fuck I do.
Well, I mean, to be fair, a lot of movies do Alright.
Glamorized drug use, yeah.
Yes, they do.
But not in the sense that movies shouldn't. Because it adds to the... You know what I mean?
They should just portray it in an accurate way versus movie drugs.
GTA did that too. With the fucking... The weed thing. I was gunning down aliens with a machine gun and I was like, what the fuck is this? This is not weed.
Well, I mean, to be fair, that was kind of the joke.
It's just shtick versus actual... They're pretty much making fun of movie plot at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are.
Which are throwing themselves into the loop because people have all these false ideas of drugs based on what movies and propaganda tells them.
And here's the thing. I feel like this is actually a good topic to talk about, simply because if anybody who's ever read the news or heard anything about America or our president, Donald Trump this last week blamed the last 2 mass shootings that happened on video game violence.
That is a crock of shit.
And all of the conservatives that agree with him are getting backlash from the people who understand that it's just bullshit.
Nobody guns down a school because of a video game. They gun down a school because of emotions and like self-thought.
Let's take, for example, Columbine. So... back in the 90s, Columbine happened not because he found fucking Grand Theft Auto, not because he was playing some computer game or whatever. Columbine happened because those kids were getting bullied. Sandy Hook happened because the man was depressed and was getting abused and bullied his whole entire life. The problem is not video games. Because yes, video games and movies do glorify drugs and abuse and violence and whatever. But at the same time, people know well enough not to do the stuff in the movies. You can watch Fast and Furious and not drive your car out of a fucking plane.
I don't go into Grand Theft Auto and steal a car and be like, hey, I'm gonna go take my neighbor's car for a spin. I go into Grand Theft Auto to do that because it is a video game.
Here's a good quote. If video games truly, there could be influence, but if there was a one-on-one connection, Pac-Man, we'd all be sitting in dark rooms eating pills, hallucinating ghosts.
Yeah, that's a great connection. Let's be real here, that's what we do.
Just stare at a wall long enough, you'll see a ghost.
But yeah, I do feel that the blame on video games for stuff like gun violence is not the answer. I feel that in terms of stuff like that, when you're wanting to affect mass shootings, you should be focusing on mental health, not trying to take it out on a subset of people who have nothing to do with it.
But that's the issue with
as gamers as a whole. None of us in this room want to walk into a building and gun down a bunch of people.
Exactly. Literally, we go to video games as an escape to do the things we can't do.
It's the scapegoat. We're using it because we have no way to call it out on any of the bullshit.
It's not an escape. It's not a scapegoat. It is just an escape. Video games itself seems to be a scapegoat because we don't want to look at the internal problems. We like to just look and just... What's the easy option to get rid of? What is the easiest thing to get rid of? Video games. That's not our fault. As a country, no, that's not our fault. That's the video games.
Yeah.
We don't blame
but
ourselves.
At the same time,
others.
How are we supposed to fix mental health when people who have depression and things don't know what to do to make themselves feel better?
Because they have places that reach out for it. I have depression and anxiety. I have pills for it. I take that every day. But at the end of the day, I know what I need to do. I know I need to go to a counselor. I know I need to take my pills. I know I need to actually work to get better. So I feel like in terms of mental health, they need to start funding it more. It's not so much spreading the information because people know mental health is a big issue now. It's a big topic.
But you have to want to help yourself in order to get help.
I think the issue.
But at the same time, I feel like government should also then provide the funding to try and help get those people.
There's a lot of people that can't get help who need help.
Exactly. Like the people who sit alone, like the people who do mass shootings. Those are people who are alone who need somebody, who don't have somebody when they need them. They have an issue and they have nobody to talk about it. So they feel like they're all alone and they're afraid because everything is out to get them.
If the world wants free healthcare, it needs to include mental health.
Except free healthcare is going
not free.
Bust the shit out of taxes.
Yeah.
If you look at Canada's tax rate versus the United States, it's so much higher because of the fact that they have free healthcare.
Yep.
I feel like it's the buzzword.
Yes.
Free. That's the buzzword.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't... Free college. They don't understand...
We still pay for it. At the end of the day, you're going to pay for it.
Somebody's going to pay for it. Yes.
And eventually, everybody's just going to end up fucking paying for it.
It's going to come back around to you no matter what.
Even in our society with paid healthcare, quote unquote paid healthcare, there's people who go in, illegal immigrants or John Does who go in and don't pay a dime because they can't figure out who they are. If you walk out without telling them your name, they can't force you to pay anything. They'll write you a bill, but they got no way of tracking you down for it unless they got a system with you in it. So an illegal immigrant who comes into the state and is looking for an emergency heart transplant, they can't turn them away because as a doctor, you take a pledge to help everybody who comes to you asking for help. You can never turn away a dying patient.
That's sad.
It's the worst because the economy is set up to help illegal immigrants versus actual citizens.
Mm-hmm. I feel that's become a big thing with a lot of liberals lately, and now I hate to get this on all political rant, but a thing I've noticed with a lot of more left-wing people is they want more freedom and equality and stuff like that for everything, and they expect these doctors to work for free and work long hours and,
Becoming a doctor is hard work.
Yeah,
and it costs so much money.
So when you're offering something like free healthcare and the government's paying for it, not only are you going to get taxed for it, but those doctors sure, they get paid a shit ton of money right now, and yeah, a lot of us like to kind of joke around being like, oh yeah, they make way more money than us, they can afford this and that. At the end of the day, you're talking
taxes too.
Not only are they paying their taxes,
but they're paying off all their loans and shit too.
Yeah, they got loans still. They're still human beings, and on top of that, they're not giving high-paying salaries to entry-level nurses. They're giving high-paying salaries to heart surgeons, people that got to sit there for 12 hours a day doing a task that nobody else can do. Doing a task that requires a doctorate.
Yes, surgeons, they get sued more than any other occupation because if you fuck up, somebody dies.
Yeah.
So they get paid more because somebody dies.
Yeah. I mean, although in Wisconsin, Good Samaritan law, as long as you're trying to save a life, they can't hold that against you. Like, if you're trying to resuscitate somebody, like CPR, if you crack a rib, they can't push anything because you were trying to save their life.
That's actually another thing, especially in Wisconsin, that people have talked about, because Good Samaritan laws at the same time do also affect drug use.
Yeah.
So people that turn other drug dealers in or drug users in are covered under the Good Samaritan law, and therefore, if they're getting charged with a crime, say a drug crime, and they snitch out their dealer, they don't go to jail.
Damn.
The dealer goes and gets busted.
Damn. And it's completely, if they were to throw a random accusation out there at a name and they were to go and find something, they can't do anything but blindly accuse you because they have somebody who throws you under the bus, and then they have physical circumstantial evidence against you, so that wouldn't be counted as fruit of a poisonous tree. It would just be counted as a drug bust.
I feel personally that if we would have the Good Samaritan law amended so that they can take you to court, that's their free will, but at the end of the day, I feel that the Good Samaritan law needs to not be a bill that blocks legislation like that, or I guess the court. I feel it needs to be something that can be read in, because when you're talking about something like drug use, like no matter what, and I'll admit, we use it all the time, but at the same time, if we get busted, we know very well that we need to serve our time for our mistake.
Yeah, we pay the consequences for our actions. The reason we use drugs is because we're willing to take that consequence.
So I feel that as a drug user, and I get maybe it's going to sound us being a little harsh on ourselves, I would still rather them arrest me, take me to jail, and have the Good Samaritan law read in and have my sentence reduced as opposed to dropped at all, because I feel the people that are using the Good Samaritan law to get away with this, particularly heroin addicts. I've noticed this a lot, and I've actually noticed in my family. Heroin addicts like to use the Good Samaritan law so they don't go to jail, so they can keep getting heroin and shooting up. When you're allowing these addicts to do this, you're not helping them. You're only making it worse. So I feel if you were going to take something like the Good Samaritan law and have them actually incarcerated, but have their sentence reduced for helping then reduce the possible danger to lives of others, I feel like that's a better alternative to having these drug addicts still
rampant on the streets. Yeah.
Well, it's not even that they're dangerous, but it's that they're only hurting themselves at the end of the day. And that's what these laws are designed to protect. I understand that, I get that, but when a lot of people in the government are talking about the heroin epidemic and the opioid crisis, they're not doing anything to help it.
You can literally buy pounds of poppy seeds and turn it into a fucking drug. You can buy legal drugs and totally kill yourself on it, because doing opium can literally kill you the first time you do it. Mm-hmm. If you don't know how to safely do it, which with poppy seeds, you've got no idea. You cannot tell how much opium there is on that seed. You will kill yourself doing it.
Yeah, true. It's crazy. Like, it's feel like it's something that seriously needs to be regulated and taken into effect and looked at.
Also, Ryan, I'm sorry that I'm yelling at you when I'm getting upset about politics. It's just that I gotta look at somebody and...
I'm not feeling attacked or anything. I'm just sitting
I just don't want to offend you because I'm, like, yelling at you.
That's alright.
So, speaking of drug use, a lot of you guys know around here, we actually do not live in a pot legal state.
Of course.
Yeah. It's simply the truth. In fact, some of us have already been convicted for particular crimes.
Hey, no need to name drop, buddy.
Yeah. Throw me under the bus there, buddy.
That said, every state around us including Canada actually, has legal marijuana. Wisconsin does not yet, right? So, when Tony Evers got elected as our governor, he had in his initial agenda that he would like to legalize marijuana both medically and recreationally. And initially, it was met by the public with a lot of support. However, this is the news that I was telling you all about earlier that you wouldn't like. Wisconsin legislators removed the legalization from the agenda entirely.
It totally makes sense to me because Wisconsin's such a Republican-based state.
Yes, it does make sense, but at the same time, it shows just how far behind the state of Wisconsin is in terms of actual information on.
I feel like
marijuana.
a lot of the argument is pot's a gateway drug, and I was talking to my mom. My mom had a pretty good idea about it, and she's like, "It's not you're chasing the high. It's you're going to an illegal dealer, and that dealer has other substances there, and then all they have to do is suggestively sell something else, and you're like, oh, well, I'll give it a try."
That's
exactly
true.
Yeah.
Except what about the people who deal exclusively marijuana? I know plenty of people that won't touch anything else because of the risks associated with it.
Except that's exactly how I was too. When I first smoked, I didn't even want to smoke a second time. But then I had tried it a second time just because I was curious about it. And then as I became more open to it, I had exposed myself to several different crowds of people. And pot's no more a gateway drug than alcohol is.
If anything, alcohol is worse.
Yes,
Oh,
exactly.
yeah, no,
alcohol will
is-
literally kill you.
Yeah.
It's the worst fucking drug that I can think of off the top of my head that's legal. Well, besides opium.
What about nicotine?
Nicotine, I would rather smoke
Nicotine can kill you, but
than
nicotine
alcohol.
kills you slowly.
Yeah.
Nicotine doesn't cause you to go out and get in car accidents head-on drunk driving.
Or pass out like that drunk guy.
Yeah, we literally saw a guy pass out in
Jackson.
his car. Yeah, this has happened on several occasions where alcohol has had worse experiences than pot, than, frankly, acid, than mushrooms, than pretty much anything else that we've exposed ourselves to.
Because you see, like, the thing with pot, you just kind of want to fucking sit down and chill out.
Yeah, it's not a drug that makes you want to go out and rob a bank.
It's not the shit.
It's literally a drug that makes you sit down and make you hungry and make you
When
tired.
you stay in and order a pizza, it is the safest.
Literally, I smoke socially. Like, I love smoking with my friends. Like, if I had pot right now, I would be smoking with my friends. I would much rather do it with my friends than by myself. The only time I smoke by myself is on the weekends before I go to work, because I want to get rid of the pot before I go to work.
Gotta get rid of it somehow, and they're not gonna find it if it's up in smoke.
Yeah, because I don't want to be high when I go to work. I really do not.
Also, I love the Republican Party. I agree with a lot of their ideals and things, but it really just shows how blind they are to the fact that they could tax the shit out of it and totally get away with it.
Dude, hemp is such a big fucking market. We could say hemp grows so much quicker than trees. We can replace hemp for paper, and it produces more oxygen, therefore repairing our fucking problem of we're going to suffocate on the earth.
And its structural integrity allows it to be a good material for building things out of.
Henry Ford literally built the first prototype car that he made fenders out of hemp. That's how strong it was.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, I could really give two shits if pot's legalized or not, because there are ways to get it.
Yeah, you're gonna get it either way, so why not make it legal?
At least fucking realize that hemp can help us fucking, as an economy. It's a new industry. People can fucking... we can stop killing the earth as fast.
If people are going to get it either way, why not make a little bit of money off it? It's the government, they always need our money, so why not fucking produce it?
What I looked into, though, pot is, like, it's bad to smoke.
It's carcinogens either way.
Yeah, no, it's bad to smoke because you're smoking like that 20% THC, but you're also smoking all that plant substitute that is in it.
It's bad to smoke anything in general because it's bad for your lungs.
Yeah,
the best way really to consume pot would be to take it either sublingually or to take it through an edible.
But a cart is the safest way to, smoke it.
Well, yes, in terms of smoking or vaping, a cartridge... Assuming the distillate inside the cartridge is genuine and uncontaminated would be the healthiest.
Yes. If you can prove that what you have is not
like dispensaries and shit, dude, they fucking sling their own carts, so you can only assume, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then somewhere where it's illegal, we're exposing ourselves to more danger because there's no way for us to prove it. We have to have blind trust in the people that we purchase it from, because there have been things like paint thinner that have been sold in carts.
Oh yeah, dude, I've literally, one of my coworkers literally bought a cart laced with paint thinner. But, you know, he didn't give a fuck because he didn't have any money. He was chasing a high.
And people buy fucking marijuana, actual, like, leaf marijuana that's laced with cocaine and heroin and meth all the time. And they don't even realize it. And that's the big problem, is you don't know. So when you're taking these substances from people who are untrustworthy, if anything, the government is not protecting their society, once again leading to the fact that we have so many drug addicts. I feel like if it was legal and people could get it responsibly, and say even through medical, if Wisconsin would legalize it medically alone, more people would be willing to go and try and at least submit to get their medical card and try and use it that way and use it responsibly, than go out and take the potential risk of getting arrested or possibly dying from a laced substance.
Or dying from an untrustworthy dealer. We've literally had somebody steal a cart from us. Yeah. Because it's drug addicts. You can turn your back on a man, but you can never turn your back on a drug. It's the truth. You cannot predict what a drug addict is going to do because they sit inside their head. They cannot tell you what they're going to do because they can change their mind in an instant because they think constantly.
I had a fucking cokehead with my fucking phone in the lake.
Yeah. Like Matt said, we literally got robbed for a cartridge.
For fucking $30.
Yeah, a $40 cartridge. That's what they took.
You're really gonna rob a person over $40,
and it wasn't even a significant amount. It was $40 cartridge.
Yeah, that's our point. Is when you're not talking about legalizing, when you're talking about keeping it unsafe from the public, people are gonna do what they have to do to get their drugs, and they start to not care what's in them. They start to not give a fuck, and they start to overdose, they start to take laced drugs, and they start to die, and that's why we see so many heroin overdoses, meth overdoses, coke overdoses, all kinds of shit. People go in the hospital all the time because they're taking unsafe substances. And pot itself is a safe substance. It's when it's laced with something else that makes it unsafe. That has been proven multiple times by multiple universities, multiple scientists. You can look it up literally fucking anywhere. It is generally a safe plant. Why are we leaving these safe items for people to consume to these people who can potentially end somebody's life?
Or their own life.
Yeah. Like, at the end of the day, this is what you become. You go from drug dealer to murderer.
Yeah, pretty much. When you're a drug dealer, you got to think about that. If you sell a bad something like a bad drug to a fucking person,
that falls on your shoulders.
That's manslaughter.
That person could
dude.
Potentially die because you're selling them like paint thinner in a fucking cart.
And if you get caught, you are screwed because the family will sue the piss out of you. The government will chase your ass down like no tomorrow.
Literally, just with buying pot and getting caught with pot, it will destroy your life, and then it'll open you up to more substances because you care less because your life's already going to shit. When I got arrested for pot, that was another fucking responsibility I had to worry about. I wasn't going to worry about that. I was just going to smoke more pot and do more drugs.
Yeah, you already got the record. They already know you're going to do it.
So I'm just going to do it more openly. It's not like they aren't going to charge me for it anyways.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I feel like at the end of the day, Wisconsin should legalize it, I feel, at least medically. Recreationally, if it wouldn't be legalized here, whatever. We don't need dispensaries. I feel people who really would want it or need it, who are addicted to it, could then at least go to a doctor, get a medical card, and get safe marijuana or whatever drug that they have. Because people don't realize this. Doctors prescribe meth. That is an actual prescription drug you can buy.
Doctors will prescribe you what you need, and they will tell you where you can go if you need to get it.
Yeah. So, if you're talking about legalizing marijuana, a lot of people who are... I get a lot of people say that pot isn't addictive, but you can get a mental addiction to it. We've all admitted that.
You can believe that you need it.
At the end of the day, when you have people who are addicted to marijuana, addicted to meth, whatever else, you need to find a way to get these guys help. And at the end of the day, I feel legalizing it and at least medically gives them a reason to go to a doctor and find a way to get safe marijuana or safe meth or whatever they need, so that they are keeping themselves healthy and keeping themselves there for their family.
And pot is... Are you going first?
I'll go for it. I like to believe that I'm not addicted because... Well, yesterday we were just chilling in the park, and I was actually talking to one of my dealers, and, I had $20 in my pockets, and then Jada brought up the idea to go swimming, and I just dropped all my drug dealers to go swimming. And I was like, hey, I'm going to have a funner day, instead of waste my money on something that's going to last me, what?
Of an afternoon, let's
say 20 minutes.
I'd rather go swimming for like a couple hours instead of spend, a couple minutes smoking.
Yeah.
And... pot is one of them things where keeping it illegal allows people who don't have access to homes or don't want to pay for homes to get a free home. You can go out and instead of buying a meal, you can buy like an ounce of pot and then go and get caught with it, or don't get caught with it, and you got an ounce of pot right there. If you get caught with it, you get a free roof over your head and a meal for however long you have based on how much pot you have.
Yeah.
If you got intent to distribute, that's a felony.
Yeah, your record's destroyed, but if you're homeless, you don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you're going to jail. You're getting free housing from the government that people are paying for so that you can live there and get free housing.
Exactly. You get a home to stay in.
Yeah. Albeit it's not the best one.
I was about to say, it's not the safest home.
But it's better than being on the streets where you're exposed to heroin and drugs.
Yeah. And, okay, so that's not to say that drugs aren't also rampant in prisons.
People make a shit ton of fucking money slinging dope in prisons.
Yeah, but at the same time...
But it's harder to get.
Yeah. Yes. And not only is it harder to get, but the minute you get caught with it in prison, your sentence, it's not going back to court for another charge. Your sentence is just going to get extended. And you do not get a say. You are guilty no matter fucking what at that point.
Yeah, somebody who's selling drugs that are laced or have intent to kill somebody with a drug, that spreads so much faster in such a confined space.
Yeah.
Everybody is connected in jail because it's a limited space to be.
Yeah, you see the same people every day. It's like
you have to be friends with the people around.
It's like living with your coworkers. Like imagine how horrible that is.
It's literally like being in a school, though.
Yeah, the gossip spreads like mad. It's comparable in the fashion that
like cliques and shit.
Yeah, everybody sticks to groups. But everybody talks.
Everybody talks.
And I can verify that firsthand based on schools versus prisons, because when I got arrested for underage sexual activity, people started saying that I was raping people.
Yeah. When you're talking about smaller, more confined spaces, word spreads, and word spreads poorly.
It's strictly based on what people want to spread.
It's based on
what people want to hear. It's what people want to believe. Because it's no secret that Matt was not a class favorite before that. So as soon as people had a reason to not like him, they
started throwing me under the bus for things that I don't even do.
Yeah. Like, Matt didn't touch a chick. There was no even situation where a rape could have happened.
And it wasn't even with the chick that I was with. It was with a completely different lady.
Someone that you never fucking met, right?
Yeah, I looked them up in my yearbook, and they were somebody I never talked to.
Yeah, like, that just...
That just tells you about the school's justice system, though, as well.
It shows exactly the problem with our government.
Yeah, there's so many prime examples, and it's not even just me.
People point fingers and you take the blame. That's it.
Exactly. You can look at people in prisons. Half of them don't even do what they did, and there's stories of people making hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars for time that they spend in prison for things that aren't their fault.
I think it was something. It was I think it was in the 80s or 90s. I can't remember the name, but it was this big thing where these 5 black gentlemen got sent to prison for raping and killing that they had no evidence to, but the fact that they wanted to convict them,
what you're talking about.
they got them. I think
they all went to New York. They all went to jail and they got fucking interrogated to shit. Yeah, and they were all young teenagers.
And once that pressure's on you, if they're like, "We know you did it, you did it,"
but they also fucking coax you into we can be done if you just sign this pretty much saying that you did it. We can let you go, but when he lets you go to fucking court. You go to fucking jail.
Yeah, they literally fucking kept them up for days to talk to them, to interrogate them. They didn't get to go home. They didn't get to see their families.
Yeah.
They just fucking rotted in that room.
America's a great country, but some of its aspects are really just gone to shit.
Yeah. I feel there is a lot of things that we as a country do need to work on improving.
Can we just agree to that and stop getting heated over politics?
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
let's change the subject
America,
here. So.
out of pretty much all the countries to live in, I'm kind of glad I was raised in America. Yes, there are flaws, but there are flaws of every political system. There are flaws everywhere you go. And we're not the worst,
at the end of the day,
we're definitely not perfect.
At the end of the day, we're not getting killed by our
government.
Our government isn't fucking starving us and forcing us to work in a work.
This isn't communist
except
Russia.
for the Asian scandal way back in the day.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, but what I'm saying
here, everywhere shit to live. It's just shit in different ways.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're just stepping in your own pile of shit.
Yeah.
This is my shit.
All right, so
shit somewhere else.
Let's get back to our main topics here. Our next topic up for discussion today, of course, we have, speaking of marijuana, pot stories. So let's start actually with Justin. What is your most memorable story you have?
You can't even say something different. We all know this story.
Fuck you guys. Okay, so this was the first time that I ever ripped I ever fucking smoked so much, and this is
baby lungs.
Okay, this is baby lungs. Me right now, I have amazing lungs. I can blacklight any fucking pen, I guarantee it, and not cough. Well,
you'll cough, but you'll be fine.
Yeah. But
you can just get up and say, "Yeah, let's fucking take another one real quick."
Yeah, but fucking okay. This story, I went to Carson's uncle's house, Rob's. No, this was after. No, fuck. I got to start from the very beginning. The funeral.
All right, let's start from the top of the story because I'm included in this part too.
Matt, you take away the first part.
All right.
Are we just gonna tell the 2-day saga that was?
This was a whole. This was a day. This was
that was
Carson
one day,
and
just like the day after we went back.
I'm saying 2-day saga.
Sure. Yeah, let's go. The entire
both
thing
of them.
was
Let's
really
do both
memorable.
of them.
I'll start with the beginning, and then we'll just go through the group based on what we remember of it.
I feel like that's our most memorable story collectively, anyways. So
So this had been going on for a couple of days, where we'd been planning to go to Carson's great grandfather's funeral, and we were going, and I was going. I wasn't super excited about sitting at a funeral, so of course I was the one who brought the pot, because back in the day I was always the one who brought the pot, and now I'm just the one who smokes the pot. And so we were sitting in the car. It was me and Justin with a bag of weed and a Nintendo Switch, while Carson was inside at the funeral, and I'm like, "Hey Justin, let's smoke a couple of bowls."
Yeah, so we literally just sat outside of a fucking funeral of Carson's great-grandfather's funeral, smoked a couple bowls,
and then we played Astro Bears.
We played the shit out of Astro Bears.
And then after we had gotten good and high, we went into the funeral.
No, we went into the funeral.
We went into the funeral, and we had 2 switches at that point.
Yeah.
One of them was mine, and one of them was Carson's, and we were just sitting there playing on the Switch, having a good old time, and then me and Justin are like, we're starting to get pretty hungry. We might as well go get some food.
Yeah.
So we get up and make a bit of a ruckus as we leave, because we're laughing our asses off, and everybody sees us, and we leave to go get pizza from the gas station that's like a mile away. And so we get there and get our pizza, and everything's good. And as we're starting to walk back, I check my phone, and I've got 9 different notifications from Carson. I check my phone, and he's like, "Where the fuck are you? There's a cop here looking for you, and I don't know what's going on. You gotta get here now. Get your ass over here." And I'm like, "Oh shit, stuff is going down."
Matt just fucking loses it, and I'm walking beside him, and I look at him, and I'm like, what the fuck? And you're telling me all this shit, and I'm like, I swear to God, Carson's got to be playing a prank or something, because we didn't do jack shit.
And I don't keep talking Justin into it. I'm like, "No, dude, this has got to be the real thing." And we get there, and by the time we get there, I got Justin worried too.
Yeah, I admit, I was starting to sweat a bit. I was like, "Is this true?" I was iffy. I was like, ready to fucking... Yeah, so we actually walked past the funeral.
Past the funeral.
And to a bus station.
To a place that owns school buses.
Yeah.
And Justin finished his pizza while I sat there and paced back and forth, freaking the fuck out because I thought there was a cop roaming around looking for us.
Yeah, and I stuck my pizza on the bus.
He stuck his pizza on the tire of the bus as we were walking away, and as we were walking back, I texted the girl I was talking. I'm like, I might be going to jail.
Yeah, because fucking Carson told us to come back because we were just literally evading the police. So
yeah, I says to Matt, I was like, either way, you're going to jail, so
you might make it worse. And so we go back and we see Carson and we call him out and he comes over and he's laughing and we both immediately know what's going on. And so I walk up to him and give him a hug and then he explains to us what happened. We go into the funeral and get laughed at by everybody there and we eat some food and then we left. And that's where we first
met Rob.
Technically met Rob, even though we had conversations with him before. It was the first time that me, Carson, or Justin had ever ripped a dab pen. Yep. And I didn't expect it to hit so smooth, so I hit it for as long as I could. And I just went into a fit of coughing, and I was more high than I had ever been using my 2 years of smoking actual pot.
Yeah. Are you kidding, dude? Okay, so I probably really shouldn't say this to the public because this is a really bad idea. But after this, we got in our cars, which are, by the way, at this point, was a rear-wheel drive V8 5-liter Winter Thunderbird. No, this is February, March, somewhere around there. And Rob's car is a 88 Lincoln Mark 7 LSC. So we had a Thunderbird and a Lincoln. Both 5.0s, same motor, rear-wheel drive, big old Ford V8 muscle cars, right?
Early January.
We are high as a fucking kite, racing, doing burnouts. Meanwhile, Matt and I are so goddamn high, I'm trying to look out my windshield and I'm getting visuals.
And at this point, you could start to see the buildup of what's the climax of this story with Justin in the back of the car, just kind of humbly freaking out as we were going like 100 miles up this fucking back road.
I was kind of like in that same state of fucking, oh no, there's a cop at the funeral. I was like, I was literally just sitting there like, shit, this car is going too fast.
And then we got to Rob's and we just started going to town on the pot.
We probably smoked at least 10 grams that night.
Yeah. He brought a bong out, and that was the end of it.
Yeah. And then, Justin, this is where you have to take
over. To pick up here now.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, no, there's more to this story that I know. Because we were standing outside Rob's house by his car. We were talking about his car, and Justin's starting to get real huggy, and he's just like, Matt, and he's leaning all over me, he's like collapsing on me, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Every time I looked at him, I could not stop myself from laughing, too, and I just looked at you and smiled, and then I started laughing, and then you started laughing, too.
Yeah,
and then I was like, what the
laughing.
And then your laughing just caused me to laugh more, and I was like freaking out.
And suddenly we were both in fits of laughter, just dying in front of Rob's house while Carson's having a separate conversation with
They're like looking at us like, what was wrong with us?
While this is happening, the conversation that's happening between Rob and I is we're looking at Matt and Justin going, what the fuck is wrong with these guys?
Yeah.
Like literally, Rob looks at me, he's like, what'd you give these dudes?
And then we go into Rob's house and then he whips out the bong and then I have fire in my lungs.
Yes, the campfire.
The first time I fucking hit that bong, dude, I sit on the counter and I'm just like, I fucking hold my heart and I'm just wobbling like a little bit and I couldn't process what was happening. Like, fucking, okay, and then we go outside after all the smoking and shit. Like, he rolled a joints, too, and everything, and I was so destroyed. I run away, and I take my shirt off as well.
Middle of fucking January.
Yeah, middle of January.
Snow's all over the ground.
Yeah, there's still snow on the ground.
Like 2 inches of it, too.
And I just fucking run away. And, like, I'm screaming, and
He had stolen my phone and started recording himself.
Yeah. If you guys want to see that video, we'll have it actually, it's currently on my YouTube channel. It's unlisted. We'll make it public for you guys. You can go see it. Our YouTube username is Mark7Rider. Mark as in MARKVIIRIDER. I'll have it up for you by the time this podcast is up so you guys can see that video of Justin there and experience truly how Justin was there.
The Shaniqua experience.
It's impossible to explain the accent he used besides Shaniqua.
Yeah.
It's impossible to explain.
I'd say it was like almost in like a little English mixed a little bit of ghetto bitch.
Shaniqua out.
Yeah. That is exactly
you will remember that.
I remember hearing that.
Yeah.
All you guys will.
Yeah, because I remember sitting in the car, and after he said it, we just looked over and he's like, "What? What?
Yeah, man.
What the fuck is he talking about?"
Yeah, I was talking to the camera. Yeah, but I was booking it in December shirtless, and they had to chase me down with the car, and then they decided to drive away after they couldn't catch me, so I came out from behind the fucking house that I was hiding behind, and I waved at them.
Yeah, we literally turned around, because Matt looks at me, he's like, fuck it, if he's not going to get in the car, just leave.
Yeah.
It's like, alright, I'll just text Robin and bring him home when he sobers up.
Yeah, and
we get to the end of the driveway, and then I see Justin, and then he's like waving his arms like, come back! And then I'm like, fuck, we gotta go back. So I turn back around.
And then you drive back to me, and I'm just standing there like...
He's all standing there
on my hips.
the standard upset mom look for some reason.
I told Carson to run him over.
Yeah, and he's like, don't stop.
Yeah, I just kind of standing there protruding my groin, and then I went up to the car window and I started humping Matt's window.
Yeah, I started rubbing his stomach and dick all over my car.
I didn't even see it initially. I was trying to have a conversation with Justin or Carson, and I turned to see Justin's just bare chest pressed against the window.
So yeah, then I end the video with the Shaniqua out. I jump in the car, throw Matt's phone at him, and from there I was singing and
screaming and moaning,
grabbing and kicking.
He literally choked me out as I was driving.
It got so bad.
My leg.
It got so bad to a point where
we literally pulled over in a
parking lot and we just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah. That part I don't even remember.
You were so fucked.
Yeah, we literally pulled up into a Piggly Wiggly and we stopped.
I remember stopping at a school, but that I don't remember
stopping at
I don't remember a school either.
Well, I was just so fucking out of my mind.
The school might have been the Piggly Wiggly.
I thought the Piggly Wiggly was a school.
Are we at a school? Just starts getting beat the shit out of.
Like I didn't even. I was fine after you guys beat the shit out of me too. I didn't feel anything. It was fine.
Yeah, we wailed on him too.
Yeah, we went pretty fucking hard on Justin.
Yeah, but as you can see, that turned out fine.
Yeah. That was payback for trying to make my ass unconscious driving.
Yeah. And also, I kind of showed everything to Matt and through that window.
Yeah.
But there, end scene. That was the story.
Ryan, you got a story?
You got a story to top that.
Oh, we got to go to the next night. He was there.
Just explain the next night.
You can explain that one.
So the next night, right, these guys kept fucking talking up Rob's house like it's some fucking party castle. So I'm like, alright, I got a little bit of dope from my boss for being a good employee.
What was it called again?
I don't remember what that one was.
That
was
one
purple. That was the purple stuff.
Yeah, that was our first purple shit.
Yeah, no, it was purple sticky icky. And this is, we go back to Rob's. And we sit down, and Carson fucks off with Rob, and it's me, Matt, and Justin.
Oh, no.
And we sit there. And I'm like, well, time to start grinding this shit up and smoking it, I suppose.
And then fucking, didn't Rob pull out the bong again?
No, I asked Rob for the bong, because I'm always a bong guy.
Yeah.
I love
bongs. And then they both came back in to smoke with us, and then they left right afterwards.
Yeah, but no, here's the thing. This is back, like, when we were all still, like, casual smokers before we were, like, full-on potheads.
Yeah.
So,
it was more of a sometimes thing than an every time thing.
Yeah. This was solidly the highest I think we would had ever been.
Yeah.
So we were sitting there and we're taking bong rips, and we just keep fucking passing. I just keep packing the bowls and keep passing. We're not stopping. And then eventually Matt just shuts down.
Yeah, he died.
Matt,
he was singing the time warp.
I think this was before the time warp.
It was before.
It was before because Matt revived. But we were on the kitchen table, and Matt puts his head on his hand, and he just kind of stops moving. And then we're like, oh shit.
Matt froze.
And Matt was froze. I tapped him, and I'm like, Matt, you're okay? He's like, no, I can't move. And then eventually he was like, all right, Justin, well, it looks like it's just you and me smoking right now. and then I check on Matt, and I'm like, Matt, you're right? He's like, thirsty. So there's a McDonald's cup there that isn't even ours. It's like from Rob's lunch or some shit. And so I moved the cup to Matt. I'm like, Matt, here you go. He's like, I can't move. so I got the straw, and I literally had to put the straw in Matt's mouth. And he just... and he did that till it was fucking gone.
That was a half-full cup too.
And he just fucking did that till it was gone. It was the funniest shit. And then after that, we were getting to the point where the walls were fucking starting to breathe.
Yeah, I remember before I sat down, everything was just like a bright orange, and I was like, I gotta sit down because I'm not gonna be able to stay for very much longer.
And then after Matt revives, he starts talking again, and I'm like, all right, Rob, where's that bong at, bud? And so he whips out the bong, and I'm like, all right, boys, round two. And so we start passing it around, music starts getting played, we start talking we think we're in fucking Vietnam, smoking fucking pot. Having Nam flashbacks and shit.
The cat comes
and then
up
the fucking
sits on
Rob's
the
cat.
table.
Yeah, Rob's cat comes and sits on the table.
Right in front of
Justin. And Justin's fucking staring down this cat.
Yeah, Justin's high as a kite, and this cat is a bad motherfucker.
Oh yeah, this cat fucking bit me before.
Well, here's the thing. Justin got vengeance on the cat and fucking bit the cat. And I literally had to physically beat him to let him go.
Yeah, then he bit Orion.
he made an attempt. Yeah, I don't remember if he bit me.
I fell on the... I laid on the... No, I slowly slid onto the floor.
That's when Rob and I came out of the bedroom and looked at you and were like, what the fuck is going on?
See, consciously, I was still dead at this point, so I don't even remember what was happening.
And then I remember Matt put on the time warp, and Matt just no words. I have a video, and it's just Matt lip syncing the time warp while Justin
dancing in a chair
and dancing in the chair after his fucking revival. And Justin's sitting there, and Justin would not stop fucking screaming at me about stupid shit that happened back in fucking middle school. and I literally, oh my god, and I literally yelled at Justin, I don't care, shut the fuck up.
And then your leg was right there, so he just started to
and my leg was right there, and he just tries to fucking take a little nibble off me, and I have to fucking swat him away like a fucking cat. And then,
I remember that. I remember leaving because I remember that I had to brace myself to leave because I didn't think I was prepared to stand back up yet.
And then,
I don't remember leaving that day.
Somehow we made it back.
I don't remember the drive back.
I barely remember leaving.
I remember the drive back because somebody had to make sure Carson was driving straight.
Oh yeah.
How was the drive back?
That was alright.
I completely forgot Carson was driving.
I don't even remember it at all.
Are you kidding, dude? All of us have driven.
I've not driven intoxicated. No. I started driving before I got intoxicated, and then I stopped driving.
Yeah.
Alright, boys.
And Justin just hasn't drove yet. He's driven with me a handful of times, but not anything super long or.
I've gotten better with the Shaniqua and the biting thing.
Oh yeah, we had to tell Justin he can't smoke with us anymore if Shaniqua ever comes back.
They didn't.
Like part of us still kind of wants Shaniqua back because it's such a great memory. It's a great video.
But at the same
time, when you're in the moment and you're high as a bitch and you're dealing with it, all you want to do is fucking
It's impossible to babysit two people's worth of a person at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes, I am 2 people's worth of a person. That's true.
Like, it was a full-time job that day.
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
Smoking really doesn't fuck my vision up, really. But
no, not anymore.
No,
I remember my vision would get super shallow in depth of field.
Yeah.
Freaking, well, let's say it just makes me speak dumber now. Really, I still. It's more like I mix up my words. And
yeah.
Like I say things.
Ryan, if only I was gay.
Yeah.
Or if only I wasn't gay.
Let's tell that story, because that's another pot story, actually.
We've only got about 5 minutes left before we gotta go, so we gotta make this one kind of quick.
Alright, so then let's do, we'll go to our last and final topic here today. We have the new Nintendo Switch Lite, and of course the new mainline Nintendo Switch getting a new revised battery, extending the battery life 2 times what it initially was, while retaining the same initial price point at $299. Of course, we also have the new alternative, the Nintendo Switch Lite, which comes out at $199. It's releasing this fall. In fact, I believe it's September 20th to be exact. It is a portable exclusive Nintendo Switch. You cannot dock it. Joy-Cons are attached. It's a little bit smaller. Like I said, ideally for a more portable setup, if you don't really use your Switch for a home console. More ideally a supplemental device, I guess, if you want to put it that way. What do you guys think about the Switch Lite so far?
I just really don't like the Switch Lite. In my opinion, it's taking away from the Switch more than putting into it.
Initially, I thought I was going to really dislike it, and I never intended on purchasing one. But in reality, I never use my TV for anything, so I've almost considered selling my actual Switch to get a Switch Lite because I don't use the solid dock, which has been here, not even at my house, in weeks.
Yeah, it's been here at my house in our little game room / bedroom type thing we've got going on
the
here.
swamp room.
Yeah, it's pretty much our hangout spot. So we conduct our business in here. We do everything in here, man. I mean, fuck, there's people who lost their virginity in here. So
I've only ever played the Switch in handheld mode because I just don't use it for my TV. I like to have the background noise of my TV going sometimes when I play on my Switch, but I never use the full functionality of it, so why not have a more portable version of it that wasn't meant to go onto your TV?
Do you think if they would have released the Switch Lite at launch alongside the Switch, you would have bought that instead of the mainline Switch?
Absolutely.
Alright, you think that's a good point to leave off on, boys, then?
Yeah, I mean, I suppose. We'll see you guys again. We'll start doing this. How about every Friday we'll have a new episode out for you guys. We'll hopefully have it out earlier on in the morning. I'll try and get it up at maybe 6, 7 o'clock, and we'll see how that goes. But other than that, yeah, we will see you guys again here real soon, and thanks for listening to us here today. Thanks for bearing with us. I know it was kind of a pain. It's our first podcast. We're starting to learn things, getting used to it here. We're getting the swing of things, so if you could just bear with us, we'll obviously hopefully get better with time here for you guys, and we'll keep bringing you some good content.
Maybe we should do an episode where we introduce ourselves. So
yes, I was actually thinking about that. We're going to make sure, or that's going to be our next episode. I was actually thinking about that literally like 10 minutes ago. Our next episode is going to be kind of a get-to-know-us episode where we're going to go over kind of ourselves and our lives and how we kind of grew up and our kind of views on things. So you guys get to understand us and understand where we're coming from on subjects. That way you guys aren't thinking, oh, you know, we're just a bunch of buffoons that don't know what the fuck we're talking about. So sometimes it's the case, sometimes it's not. So
yeah. We just like talking.
Yeah.
Like 50-50.
Yeah. So, like I said, we will see you guys again soon. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it and we love you guys. You guys have yourselves a great day.
At Kroger, fresh groceries are our thing, so we check your delivery order for freshness at every step from farm to store and pick and pack every veggie in your free pickup order with care, because we treat your food the way we'd want ours to be treated. We're fresh every day, so shop anyway. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
Get more ways to save at the Buy 5 or More Save $1 each sale. Just buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
And thank you guys for tuning in to the Realist of the Visionary News. And what we have going on now, guys, is a website. You can now join us at therealistthevisionary.com. That's right, therealistthevisionary.com. What we really want you to do is to click that first tab on top that says community chat, make a username, and join our community chat. Drop nothing but knowledge.
Facts. You guys can drop scriptures, news articles, and YouTube links, or pretty much anything pertaining to truth. So go ahead, check out the website, therealistthevisionary.com. Flood up our community chat, alright, talk to us about anything, and check out the other features on our website. Live streams coming soon. Woo, woo, woo. So thank you guys. Go ahead, check it out. Cheer. Peace and blessings, everybody. The realist.
The visionary.
The realist.
The visionary.
The realist.
The visionary.
The realist. And the visionary. And this show is brought to you by
StruggleLife.net. Get your Don't Do It outfits, 8-pocket joggers, Honor the Struggle t-shirts, Vax Wars t-shirts while supplies last on StruggleLife.net.
Word, my name is Tina and I am the realist.
And your boy Dutch the Visionary.
Yes, and thank you for tuning in to another episode. Welcome new listeners. We appreciate the love and the support. Please do us a favor and follow us on TikTok and IG at The Realist the Visionary, and visit www.therealistthevisionary.com. Check out our podcast shows, search for key topics, go in the community chat, show us some love, give us some key information for us and our community of listeners. Also, participate in The Righteous Speaks. That is a platform, a segment on this podcast where you get to voice your opinions so that your voice can be heard on the show. Okay, and thank you for Mauricio and Marcel for participating in this week's The Righteous Speaks. Please stay tuned. Towards the end, we asked you guys, can fate and free will coexist? And these two brothers gave their great input on it. So please listen to their responses towards the end of the show. Okay, Dutch. What's going on? You got some news? You got some updates?
It's a lot of shit. A lot of new shit for 2021. I said 21. 2022. I'm right now. I'm watching a full blown commercial of these niggas having a patch on their arm that they put their phone to the patch and it tells them about their blood pressure. Wow. Anyway,
I don't think that's something new.
Ain't nothing new really, you know what I mean? We are now currently in 2 + 0 + 2 + 2.
Boo.
We are in that year.
And technically, guys, which we will continue to reiterate, this is not the new year. This is the pagan Roman calendar new year.
Right.
The new year starts in March or April. That's right. Springtime.
I seen a bunch of people talking about that. Like, oh, we doing New Year's again in March, whatever. Listen, Gregorian calendar, blah, blah, blah. Fuck all these dates. Time ain't even real. Let's get to what's going on out here. What's going on out here is what's important for you to be mindful of, because a lot of people don't care. They pushing the vaccine for kids really, really hard in New York right now. I ain't gonna say just in New York, all over the world, they're pushing it really hard. Everybody, shout out to everybody who was sick these last couple of days. You a real one, because literally everybody, and at least from my point of view, a lot of people was sick for like the last 5 days, and I'm starting from like Christmas Eve up to this point right now. So if you know somebody or have a family member that might have caught a cold, had flu-like symptoms, diarrhea, all that crazy shit real quick, just know they put something in the air. They turned up them 5G towers, and they just went crazy to make people scared about that Omarion variant. And,
Omarion?
Yeah, the Omicron, but we don't call it Omarion variant. It's just funny. And, it's not ironic. I kept pointing that out to people like, hey, everybody's sick right now. Do y'all not give a fuck? And they just like speeding past the fact that everybody in their household and a lot of people at once are sick. You know what I mean? And it just came so suddenly onto most people. But yeah.
The chemtrails definitely plays a part. That's key, especially with the towers. The vaccinated spreading their nasty, disgusting spike protein and whatever other protein that they're creating, because there's 4 stages to it. And the people who keep getting this test. So it's so many different moving parts and variables. It's getting crazy out here. It's getting real crazy.
I don't know how people keep getting these tests. I sit here like, yo, y'all talking about, oh, anybody got any at-home COVID tests? They literally had an article like 2 months ago talking about how they had to recall thousands of COVID-19 tests because it was given false positives, false negatives. Why do you people keep trusting this shit? You know what I mean? There was a whole news article that blatantly spoke about how the vaccine for kids are giving, they said word for word, and we broke this shit down on the show already, but I'll say it again. They said word for word, bar for bar. Word for word, bar for bar. This vaccine for kids gives kids a rare case of mitochondritis, which is a heart disorder which makes your heart inflame. Very rare, it says it happened in kids, but it's not the point of it being rare or slim to none or whatever. It's the fact that it is, and the fact that it could happen. And I know we spoke about that on the show like probably months ago already. A lot of shit that we spoke about, if y'all just went through our episodes, I know we got like 100 and something of them already, 130 something or 40 something of them, but if y'all just went through them, especially with the COVID ones, which was probably a good 50 of them that you probably spoke about COVID, you guys will find out that we uttered half the shit that's happening right now, from the point to the kids, from the chip down to everything. And it's just getting out of control. For me, that's just like a big concern. And I notice a lot of people who get vaccinated, it's like their mental is like programmed to be against you off rip. Granted, they would be because they went and did it. You know what I mean? So they just look at you like you're crazy. Yet they could sit here and openly say, hey, this shit don't make no sense. Oh man, I got, like, this guy, he had posted, oh, I got the vaccine, and I got the vaccine to go play, to have my band have opportunities to play at different venues and things of that nature. And the venue owner had asked him, well, which vaccine did you get? And because he didn't get Pfizer or Moderna, the guy was like, well, you can't perform in my venue no more. You got the Johnson, you gotta get the Pfizer or the Moderna. So now he was all pissed off, like, wow. And he just felt defeated. And I just thought this shit was funny, because I'm like, you really retarded, because like, and this is somebody who supported my brand like a couple months ago, and I'm like, damn, man, like you supported my brand because you know what I'm saying is true, but you still went against the grain because you want to still fulfill your worldly things. You know what I mean?
2/3.
Yeah,
people are not real. A lot of people are full of crap. A lot of people say they about it when they're not.
A lot of niggas
that's
not
gonna
about
become
nothing.
way more apparent this year. I'll tell you that much. You're gonna see a lot of people fold and crack under pressure.
Oh, people are already doing it without no pressure.
That's what I'm saying. Y'all weak.
They weak as hell.
Y'all weak. Oh my gosh. Whatever your outcome is, well deserved, because you're weak. Like, come on, that don't make no type of sense. And then as far as like pregnant women, they out here getting like double influenza infections. Retards. All kinds of weird stuff is happening. You know, can they really have children? Are there going to be some sweet tooth babies? Were they coming out with like freaking dog paws and antlers on their head? Listen, because you know their DNA is definitely not going to be a regular human, because that vaccinated woman and that vaccinated man, you know what I'm saying? Their DNA is not the same. It's currently going through some satanic change. And when people hear this, they're like, oh, whatever. Oh, phooey. Y'all are full of crap. You guys are dumb.
We're full of crap.
Pandemic. No, this is truth, though. This is blatant.
They keep on feeding y'all bullshit. People ask me, why you on the vaccine's dick? I'm like, I'm not on the vaccine's dick. The vaccine's on y'all dick. The vaccine's on your body. I'm trying to help you keep your mind right while there's still time left. That's what I'm trying to do. I feel like that's my mission. Just trying to help you keep your mind right. People make fun of me. Oh, you on the vaccines nuts. You got to get off of it. You took your time out to even put money into your brand to go against it. Like, you're doing too much. I'm like, all right.
Damn straight. Why not? Why not try to help somebody before they make a decision that they can never come back from?
You know what I mean? People came saying to us, oh, I'm so glad I caught your show when I did. Because if I didn't, I was on my way to that goddamn CBS. But then I listened to your show, and I felt uneasy about everything or the decisions I was making prior.
A lot of people who don't even listen to us, if you have just random conversations with coworkers, so many people are uneasy. They don't want to do it, even if they're not spiritual.
You feel coerced.
So you know that something is not right. Come on, stop it.
But
listen, that's that, all right? This is our annual freaking New Year. And when we say New Year, we're going off of the pagan Roman calendar, okay? New Year show, okay? We did 2020, which was Year of Doom. And guess what? It sure was Year of Doom. This is when this entire pandemic started, okay? We talked about, I don't know, celebrity deaths, right? Like all kinds of stuff. And I think Kobe died that year, right? All that stuff happened in 2020. And then we did 2021 Year of Warfare. And it was about spiritual warfare, all kinds of warfare. And what have we experienced?
It's nothing but a spiritual warfare.
We didn't get to the civil warfare. That didn't happen, but that's coming. All of that's coming, all right? And so we call this show episode 134, 2022, the year of change.
The year of change, 2022.
The year of change. Because you know why? There are going to be a lot of changes for a lot of people.
I mean,
for everybody.
That's every year.
Nah, but this is like a different change.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? Because as they're progressing with their agenda, you know, 2030, previously known as 2021 agenda, they have to make the necessary steps to usher in the beast and its system. And so our way of life and living is going to change drastically. For us, 1/3, we're going to be okay. Hebrews, Gentiles who are earnestly seeking and serving the Most High Yah Elohim and His Son, Yahweh ben Yahweh, we're going to be fine. We are going to go through changes as well. Changes for the benefit of us. And we're going to be tested and we're going to go through things all the time. But, you know, for the most part, we who are true, we have a more positive outlook. Everybody else who already folded for the vaccine and all this other stuff, this is going to be a detrimental year for them. I can only imagine, especially with the activation of these new 5G towers. Woo.
By the way, I think I said on the last episode, but I'm going to say it now. I know on last episode, I think I mentioned it. I told niggas they was going to come out with a 6G. We was going to get a 6 something for this internet. Sure enough, they coming out with 6E.
Why is it an E?
Couldn't tell you what the E is for, but the number 6 is prominent right there, and I knew it was coming. And like literally, I was just talking to people about like, yo, they don't come out with a 6E. We're not done with 5G. We went through 3, we went through 4, we have 5.
About that before.
Now we got 6E that's coming out, and it's going to be out sometime next year or this year, matter of fact. Excuse me. So y'all stay on the lookout for that 6E, man. Don't upgrade your phones to that shit. You actually need to dumb your phone down to 4G if you could. Shit, even dumbing down to 3.
They're getting rid of the service for people who are under 3G. How
That's
evil,
a fact.
how wicked. You can't even keep devices that you bought and paid for. They want to end your service so that you can
if you don't upgrade,
affected by all of this radiation. Come on now. Let's do our recap for the previous year. You ready, Dutch?
Sure.
Put on your news anchor voice. Ready?
Sure.
Okay.
Recap of 2021. On January 6th, we had the storming of the U.S. Capitol. Capital Cap.
Joe Biden becomes U.S. president and Kamala Harris his little VP bitch.
COVID vaccine sharing initiative begins.
Yes. Prince Philip dies. When is his bitch the queen gonna die?
He dies at 99.
Reptilian death.
Betty White dies at 99. Betty White looks like his wife. COVID mutation reports Delta and Omarion.
Alpha, Beta, Theta, all of them. All right, SpaceX and space travel talk. China sends its astronauts allegedly to a space station for the first time. Blue Origin takes Jeff Bezos to space, and SpaceX launches the first all-civilian space flight.
Full of a bunch of billionaires.
And lastly, Dutch, take it home.
The Travis Scott Astro World tragedy, which is all light.
And of course, you have more celebrity deaths and so on and so forth. That was our 2021 recap.
I mean, trust me, a lot more happened.
Yeah, this is just shows. Like
we just going over some random shits, but
some key things that happened, especially with the Astro World. That was like the ending of the year, and you know, the highlight was definitely these vaccines. You know, propaganda, media.
Non-stop media. It's so bad. Guys, we was on a road trip and we bumped into a place called Trump Town, USA, located in Virginia. A lot of people wouldn't even believe some shit like that is out there. When I tell you that place was nothing but pure propaganda in a museum for Donald Trump, it's like you can't make this up.
It was a church.
It was a church dedicated to Donald Trump.
It was a shrine.
It was a shrine dedicated to Donald Trump. You walked in, I mean, we didn't even go in. We was just in the front yard. It had a big old coach bus that said 2024, he's coming back. America's #1 choice for president. And they had Kyle Rittenhouse belongs in this house and Biden sucks. It was so much propaganda all over the damn place for this one little location. It was quite sickening. Blue lives matter, black lives matter, Asian lives matter, everything matters. Like, it is sad, man. It's real scary. And like I said, this is a whole place in Virginia. Y'all could go look it up. Trump Town, USA. Can't make this up.
It's interesting how this year revealed stupidity in people. Now,
stupidity at its finest.
To be fair, the people that we say are stupid says we're stupid too. You know, we just pointing the fingers.
So we just all stupid.
Confidently, hell no, I ain't fucking stupid. Confidently, I know I'm not stupid, and I know I'm doing the right thing.
Yes, I am stupid for not getting a shot that people are unsure of, that is wiping out people left and right. Yes, I am stupid for questioning everything that's being placed on TV because I know that TV be lying like a motherfucker. Yes, I am stupid for just following a history pattern of what the government has done 2 people for the last like fucking 100 years.
But we're stupid because
my bad.
The government looks out for us. They care about our best
Y'all don't
interests.
know why. Y'all niggas is crazy to even think that shit. Like,
they would never harm us. They love us.
Y'all really trust the government.
They love us so much that this quote unquote virus that 99.9% of people recover from, you know, they love us so much that they had to develop this poison that is going to change your DNA. But all the other diseases like cancer and HIV and AIDS, all these other man-made diseases, you know, they didn't care about that. They didn't go on a worldwide, we need to make sure people are not just having sex with all these other different people. You know, these are the same people that made it legal for them to sell you poisons such as alcohol and cigarettes. But okay, but with this, we really care about you.
Like, did y'all know that doctors used to recommend cigarettes to their patients to smoke on to help them with their anxiety and different shit? Did y'all know that? Because when I found out that fact, I was like, wow, because cigarettes is supposedly the leading cause of cancer and lung cancer and all kind of other shit. Cigarettes, I know for a fact, has put holes in niggas' throats. How many old people you know that used to walk around a little machine till their throat going
haven't seen a commercial like that in a minute.
But that was because of cigarettes and tobacco. You remember them eras when we had the don't smoke tobacco commercials and it was with the orange and white logo? The truth commercials, they used to call it.
Nah.
You remember them truth commercials that come on? It was orange and white. You used to have the niggas say, oh, don't smoke cigarettes, don't do tobacco because of this, that, and the third. This shit was, that was the happiest propaganda in the U.S. like between the ages of between the years of 2008 and like 2012. That's why tobacco companies left the United States and went overseas to promote smoking cigarettes to kids. Because in India, there's no age limit on smoking tobacco. Them kids is blowing bogeys down at 7 years old. And that's a fact. And it's like, it's simple mathematics for any business nigga to do. Like, I had to place myself in the business mindset when I found this out. Like, all right, does it make sense for them not to say, hey, let's take our evil operation and out of the U.S. because we're not making no money and bring it overseas where kids could smoke cigarettes all day? Kids is the sponges of everything. Kids is the number one advertising tool that these motherfuckers feed off of. You, like they say, plant the seed. All right, even right now with my clothing brand, take Struggle Life, put on the kids. It's a new generation out that's coming up. You got to make it appealing to the youth. Let's make tobacco appealing to the youth. That's what them companies did. Like, it's crazy. And like I said, when I found out that, wow, doctors was recommending people to smoke bogeys, and here we are today.
Yeah, and shout out to Angel. We will definitely do a show about, Satan targeting the children, like Dutch said, when it comes to the vaccine and all kinds of stuff with all these different agendas.
You parents are sick in the head getting your kids tested for COVID. I be wondering, when the parents say, yeah, my 5-year-old tested positive, I be really wondering, like, did you really let them stick something in your 5-year-old's precious nose? You fucking imbecile.
And they gonna take their baby to go get shot up.
You fucking bozo. And granted, yeah, I understand our parents took us to the doctor when we was younger to go get stupid ass shots that they ain't know nothing about to keep us in school. We're suffering from
that to this day too.
To this day, there's so many of us in our generation
certain
with ADHD
things that are coming
and all
out.
that other weird shit.
You have underlying health issues. I wonder why. Because of those vaccines.
Majority.
All right. So I hate when, the pro-vaccinated are like, well, that's not my motherfucking choice. Did I choose as a child to get shot up with shit? No, I did not. That's out of my control. So I definitely feel for these new babies. Okay. Cause this is definitely out of their control, unfortunately. But as far as that, there is no comparison as an adult who can rationalize and make decisions and see the truth thanks to the Most High Yah. I am not going to get shot up, and this is every bit connected to the mark of the beast. If you don't want to accept that this is it. It's a variant. It is part of it. It may not be its final form, but yes, this is part of it. They're taking away your rights.
You got shot number 1, shot number 2, the booster number 4. There's going to be 6 shots in total. I'm calling it.
All right, and people already hitting the raw, do the little zombie raw Dutch. They already rawing. Like, listen, this is going to be a very interesting year. It's going to be a year of change, a year of change for the Hebrews, a year of change for people. People's DNA is already changing, so I can only imagine after a year being vaccinated with all these different boosters in between, what the hell is going to come out of this? It is going to be some wicked shit. Everything we see in the movies, they try to desensitize you, but unfortunately, this is going to happen. When you watch The Walking Dead or Black Summer or any other type of zombie apocalypse show, our worst type of nightmare, yeah, that shit might just happen. That might come to life. I'm not saying it's going to happen in 2022, but we don't know what is going to come.
It's going to happen. You can go on the CDC website right now. Use your thumbs wisely. Go on the CDC website right now and type in zombie apocalypse, and I guarantee you a whole article that was written up in 2011 about what we should do just in case there was a zombie apocalypse is going to pop out fresh on the CDC website. And the CDC wouldn't just put that there for shits and giggles. But what do I know?
Yeah, and you have people in the military confirming this. Like, yeah, we have training on the zombie apocalypse.
They have training. They wouldn't take the time to train the military.
This is fake. This is just a little prank. Nah, why would the CDC, put that on there?
Why?
Okay, even Amazon has clauses saying, if a corpse happens to reanimate. What? Why is this in your contracts, your clauses, in your service agreements? What the fuck is going on?
They know what time it is.
Okay, but nobody wants to do the research, and they just look at us like crazy conspiracy theorists. It's sad, I have family members, like my siblings, took the vaccine. I'm very sad about it, but I knew that, my people don't have the mind I have, so what can you do? What can you do?
Like them caps that I'm selling that you motherfuckers gotta go get right now.
What can you do?
What can we do? Caps and should stop.
All right, more changes are going to happen. Now, last year we talked about, the UN's declaration of the years to come. All right, so for this year, 2022, they are declaring this the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development. Remember, sustainable development is key to their 2030 agenda, okay, which is the New World Order in its full effect. Yes, we've been in the New World Order, but I'm talking about full beast mode where everything is locked down. You have to be vaccinated. You have to get the cryptocurrency system that is going to attach to your body to recognize the vaccine, to recognize just who you are so that you can buy and sell. Remember, Microsoft is pending, okay, for a patent for the cryptocurrency that is going to attach to your body. This is all going to come. We talked about the 2030 agenda, all right? It's all about peace, sustainability. These are all key words for we need to control
yeah,
everybody.
Kamala Harris made a whole tweet saying me and Biden will get this COVID under control. Key word was under control. Like, y'all gotta stay focused and stay sharp on the wording of these things. You guys are just being surface level when y'all hear this shit.
Word. All right. Shout out to Aura. He did like a breakdown, taking Delta and Omicron and rearranging it like, you know, like an anagram, and it turned to media control. Media control. This is what it's all about. You know, key things that they mention with this declaration, you know, they talk about the vaccinations. They're like, vaccination has been strengthening us.
Cap.
You know, it will help with the identification of viral origin of many diseases.
Cap.
Okay. They talk about DNA sequencing. Why? Why is this a conversation for the international year of 2022? Why? Oh, progress in DNA sequencing.
Yeah, it's supposed to fuse with your DNA.
Interesting.
You're literally getting upgraded. You niggas are so crazy. Like, you went from being a social security number to now you are a barcode. When you scan your little CDC card of proof of vaccination, they say you could go to the website and they could upload your documents to the web. You are now just a fucking little piece of technology, damn near. Not even technology. You're just a program on a website. You're a website link right now. If you got vaccinated, you are now a website link. You are a link. Click that link in their bio.
And they already know everything about you because of the nanolipids, the particles. This is all technology. So we say anything that has to do with merging your human self with technology, that is taking on a form of the mark of the beast. That is the mark of the beast. Transhumanism is the mark of the beast. If y'all can't connect the dots, then I don't know what to tell you. Okay? And some people always want, well, show me the Carfax. What the fuck is the Carfax, bitch? I don't gotta show you facts. You go read your Bible and you go figure things out. Y'all take things too literal.
Know why?
Everything is parables. Y'all don't understand shit. I'm sorry.
The reason why we don't got time to show you facts is because, first off, not everything's gonna be on that internet.
Facts.
Right? Mm-hmm. Google, this whole shit called fact check, which Zuckerberg came out and said fact check is just opinions of niggas who work for Facebook. So, with that being said,
they telling you
to sit here and be on the internet telling somebody to send you proof
show me
or
the Carfax.
Show me the Carfax. Like, yes, we might be getting our information from a source. Sometimes
things
half
are
the time
spiritual.
We're
things
not.
Are spiritual, and
That's
if you can't understand that, then you just not meant to. You're not meant to.
Sorry, excuse me. Literally half the time when we talking to y'all, this is off the hizzy. This ain't too much Googling. This is her with the Bible and me with just the knowing. Me just being observant, and we just put it together. So show you a Carfax, we can't. We can't give you our brains, and we can't give you how we read a book, or read through between the lines. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We can't tell you how to do that. That's what the Most High has to do. He has to help you visually see what the F everybody else has been talking about.
You have to seek for truth. You have to seek wisdom. You have to seek discernment.
You gotta want to see
I
it.
don't know what else to tell y'all niggas, okay? You know what else they mentioned? They mentioned the web as far as CERN. And we did talk about that when we talked about, what was it? The dark web. I think that was the name of the episode. So they talk about CERN. Why y'all talking about CERN? Why y'all talking about DNA sequencing? Why y'all talking about the vaccine? But we're crazy. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Y'all let me know how that works out. And it's going to be sad to see the deterioration of our loved ones who took this. Now that is going to be hard. You know what I mean? Like, that's like the first change. When you realize that you have to seriously kind of like cut ties from certain people because they can be harmful to you, that's hard. That is hard, and that is a change. And that is a change that we all have been making slowly. But I feel like this year is going to really kick it off. You know what I mean? Because we love these people, but their mind is not where it needs to be.
Still surface level. Is still... I gotta get vaccinated so I can go jump up and down at a concert. It's still, I gotta get vaccinated so I can feel safe.
You had everything freely before, and now you're allowing the government to dictate to you to get these things that you were doing before for free, before you had to take this variant. This doesn't make any sense. And they play with y'all all day, just like Dutch's story. Oh, hold on. Which one did you take? Oh, you ain't take AstraZeneca? Sorry, nigga. We only fucking with niggas who took AstraZeneca.
That ass.
Oh, and you ain't take Moderna? Nigga. Oh, wait, hold on. You got your 2 shots, so you fully vaccinated, but you ain't get that booster? Oh, I'm sorry. We can't fuck with you. They playing with y'all all day.
Just like
it's
that.
It's really sad. And a lot of y'all who already took it, y'all heard the Vax Wars episode. Y'all regretting it. Y'all like, damn, y'all frustrated. You stupid. You should have waited.
Niggas.
You should have thought about it. But y'all have no connection to the Most High. Can't help you.
You know what I mean? Niggas panic. They got 1 shot. Oh, I ain't getting the other shot. The moment they got sick after Christmas Eve, they ran and got the other shot.
And that was the goal. And prior to everybody getting sick, they were spraying up the chemtrails, at least in New York, like crazy. And whenever it gets that fog and all this other stuff, it's like everything's a mist now. Whatever they set up in the sky is coming, because you know that has to do with the weather control as well. It's all one and the same. So, you know what I'm saying? And now they messing with the 5G towers. It's a master formula. Everyone's talking about the graphene oxide or whatever. Yeah, whatever all that black stuff, that shit moving in and crawling, that creepy crawler creature in your system, that's what's going to reanimate your corpse. And it's just getting crazy. You know, it's sad. It's like, I'm speaking these words. I believe everything I'm saying. But even when it does come to pass, I'm going to be like, damn, this is some crazy shit.
I say it all the time. I'll be like, wow.
This is going to be some crazy shit.
When shit just start happening, I just be like.
But we going to be aware.
Right,
that's the difference. Everybody else is going to be eerie because they're going to realize all the things that their quote unquote conspiracy family or friends said to them was actually truth. And they're going to know there is no turning back. And whatever choice they made, now you have to live with it or whatever, because your mind probably not even going to be working right. It's sad, you know? That's one type of change. Another change, just your lifestyle changes. You know what I'm saying? Our lifestyle changes already been changing. Can't do things that you thought you liked doing before, which none of it mattered, you know? Those type of changes. Job changes. Location changes. Many people are moving. Many people are migrating to different locations. All these different things are changes that are going to be happening in the year 2022. And like Dutch said, these type of changes always happens. Yeah. But this is going to be a key year for change for a lot of people.
New this, new that, new this, new that.
Same little whack ass bitch they have on social media stepping on steps. I can't.
Like, it's funny because people want to be like, making posts, oh, new year, new me, and this is what I'm not gonna do, but yet you brought in the new year doing the same shit you've been bringing in the new year,
drinking,
twerking, doing the same process,
don't know nothing, vaccinated.
Man, listen, it's a sad world we live in right now. No one's waking up. No one wants to be woken up. I think that's what it comes down to. People want to be, as they said in the Matrix, sheeple. They want to be in a blue pill. They love this shit. Granted, I love this Matrix too. You know why? Because this shit is a movie. I think this shit is the most entertaining shit ever. I tell you, I don't watch TV. I watch what's going on around me. Shit is a movie. Watching how people react, seeing how people are just just falling for the okie doke. That shit is funny to me.
He thinks it's funny, but I be disturbed. I be like, that tweet that we posted when old girl was like,
that shit was funny.
I'm vaccinated and I'm boosted and I just tested positive for COVID, but I am so happy and grateful for taking the vaccine. I was like, are you for real?
I posted that shit up and I asked niggas, yo, can we figure this out if she's being dead ass or not? And people was like, they was confused. Like, it's so condescending and sarcastic, but they said she was being dead ass.
She wasn't being condescending. She was dead ass. And like things like that, that's what's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what's crazy. And I think the vaccinated live in regret. I think they're going to become envious of us. I think so. Some people are confident in the decision that they made, but, I don't know. Listen, these different changes are going to happen, whether positive or negative. We, as a people, we're going to get through it. A lot of big things is happening. Shout out to Yash Kara, all right, for starting his new TV app on Roku and Fire Stick, right? Let's give a shout. Let's do some shout outs, all right? Let's do that. Round of applause to Yash Kara.
Shout out to brother Yash.
Uncle Yash, all right? Listen, shout out to Wifey Kara, Mrs. Queen Kara, for starting her podcast. And listen, we haven't reached out, but loving the shows. His wife has such a peaceful and beautiful, calming voice. So shout out to Wifey. We not done. All right. Listen, shout out to Take One for starting a podcast. Okay. That is amazing as well. We're going to congratulate everybody who is doing it. Okay. Shout out to everybody that is just
spreading the truth. All right,
keep
talking that talk.
Shout out to Aura, all right, shout out to Oxycar, shout out to all of y'all who are doing what y'all doing. Y'all all get a cheers, okay?
Be funny.
Everybody get a cheers, everybody get a salute. We love it. And we're excited.
We gotta stick to this and don't fold. I'm watching niggas fold too much, so just stick to this shit and don't fold. And just don't care. Don't
always
give a F.
Trust on the Most High. Always trust.
I had somebody say to me, yo, I admire you so much because, you be talking that truthful shit and I just can't. Like, why can't you? If you believe the same thing that's coming out of my mouth and you wholeheartedly believe what I'm saying, why can't you talk about it? Oh, because there's nobody around me to talk about it with, or I don't want to post it on social media because I don't want... Yo, stop giving yourself excuses for shit that ain't even real. Get to it. Get on it. Talk that shit. Let them know how you feel. People, like, we watch the... Like, we want to subject ourselves to some 3D level shit. The whole civil rights movement was about niggas speaking up for what's right and what's wrong. That was supposed to be the most embodied era in black history that we're supposed to cling to, yet no one's even trying to follow that motive. The reason why I could legitimately say that I am the way I am is because I got my mind so warped into the Black Panther shit when I was on my Black Panther shit that I couldn't get myself out of just not speaking like this, speaking against things that are wrong.
Me and Dutch, we're really passionate. Before we did this show, we actually we were trying to host an event, a local event to literally spread truth. Like, we did do it, and people did show up. Remember, Dutch?
Yeah.
And we called it The Awakening. So this is before the show. This is before the thought of the show.
The thought.
This is just us. Like, that's how passionate we were. And we did do an event, and people did come out, and niggas had weird ass opinions about stuff.
But hey, it was a start.
But it was a start. And who knew that from that, this is what we were going to be doing? We were just that passionate.
And you know, there's different forms of being awake. Okay, I just want to let y'all know there's people who's awake in different aspects of their life, and we should also take heed of that. There's people who are way more spiritually awake than others. There's people who are way more consciously awake than others. People
There's
more
different
biblically
levels
awake.
of consciousness,
Right. So wherever you at in your life, don't think you have to be on full blown max level to be quote unquote considered awakened or awoken. No, if you are
a process,
it's
refinement.
a process. Right, right. There we go. Refining. All right, because I'm still refining myself to this day. I would never go around and be like I'm the most woke motherfucker on the planet. Nah, I still got a whole lot to learn. But I'm glad I know what I do know because I can maneuver around this shit by knowing.
To touch on that point, Dutch, you know, people need to stop critiquing or criticizing other people
or comparing yourself to others.
Just, you know, really don't be messing around with the Most High, because like Dutch always says, once you know the truth is what you do with it. So you can't sit here and keep being in the life that you know is wicked. You can't keep partaking in wicked shit. You can't keep partaking in worldly stuff. There's people who listen to our show. I know y'all good people. We had to go through these changes and we're still changing as well. But you gotta let go of certain things. You can't keep playing both sides. You can't think you can play both sides, because you're ultimately going to belong to Satan. You're not going to think you could fool the Most High and act one way and then do all this other stuff. You can't. Now, everybody had to change. It was a process, right? Mm-hmm. You didn't just wake up and stop celebrating holidays. Even when you did find out, how many of y'all still took a while to let it go? Mm-hmm. Anybody who's like, I let it go immediately, you're a fucking liar. You're a liar. Okay? You're just a liar. If you telling me as soon as you got awakened by Yah that you just instantly stopped everything, you're a liar. It took you a while to let go of stuff, right? It took us a while. So if you trying to pretend that I just stopped, you know, right away, certain things you are going to dramatically stop because it's going to hit you like a ton of bricks.
Right, it's going to hit you like
certain things. But a lot of other stuff, it takes time, refinement. So I ain't trying to judge people, but some of y'all really need to like cut out the bullshit, okay? Like, you shouldn't still be twerking your ass on social media and then saying all praises to the Most High. Like, I'm not even trying to comfort people, but you really need to, you know, just sit back and think about what you're doing. You really got to think about it. Everybody got to think about their actions. Am I doing the right thing?
Right. Can't, as one of my friends has said to me, you can't pick and choose what you want to do.
You can't. You
right.
have
you
to be all
choose.
in.
You gotta be all in or not.
Because it's only two sides.
But like
okay?
I said, I understand it's a refining process. So, you know, when I say don't pick and choose, like literally don't be like, oh, I don't jack Christmas, but I jack New Year's and Valentine's Day. No. Now you picking and choosing.
Oh, yeah, I know pork we shouldn't eat, but I'm gonna go and eat some shrimp. I don't like, just nigga, you know shit is unclean. Stop going back and forth with stuff.
Like, the realist is always drilling to me about not eating certain things with the meat. Every now and then, we're gonna get breakfast. Let me get some sausage and pancakes. Why you not ordering turkey sausage? Or why are you ordering sausages? You shouldn't be really eating meat like that. Oh, don't tell me what to do. Fuck it when I get to it. But there goes me picking and choosing. And then when I go try to eat that meat, what happens? I barely even eat the meat. Because what the fuck? I know. She already told me. I already know. What you do with it is what it is. Now I'm having a hard time just eating fucking sausages. You feel me? Pause. And it's like, it's that deep. It really gets that deep, guys. You know, even when I tell y'all before, when I was doing the parties, like, I couldn't throw a party no more and enjoy it. Now it became like, what the fuck am I doing? You know what I mean? It was just like, I shouldn't be doing this no more. It felt bad. It just started to feel
You're not
wrong.
supposed to be doing these things. Once
Right.
you realize,
Once I realized
the
it,
truth,
though,
you can't.
it's one thing if you don't realize it. If you
But
don't
there's
realize
some
it, you're not
people
going to
who
see
are
it.
dead ass, like trying to act like they full blown in this, and they're still popping fucking Henny bottles and fucking doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
If I was to try to drink some-
we was all doing that shit at one point in our life. We're not gonna act like we're so good and we never did nothing.
Yeah.
I tell you all the time, nigga, I could have been somebody on Smash or Pass, some thought bitch on whatever. Like, that's just life. Dutch could have been in the fucking industry. Like, this is life. But
Literally.
you have to change.
Could have did it all.
22 year of change.
I mean, let me try to pop a Henny bottle right now, knowing what I know. I guarantee you, I'm gonna be fucked up off of that, and not in a good way. Most High gonna have me all fucked up off of that.
You're not
you
supposed to
want
do
some Henny,
these
nigga?
things.
After you already told niggas not to drink that? Hold on. One shot to the face, your ass gonna be hurting.
Ain't even that. Not even about hurting. Something else could happen.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
In the environment.
It's deeper than just hurting
Because
physically.
of you making these choices. So
Yeah, but I
I think people genuinely have good hearts, and I hate when people in this truth want to have a fucking snooty nose, act like they was walking with Moses. I talked about humility, nigga. Humble yourself. We all had to get selected by Yah to see this, because you could have easily been left in the world doing what the other people doing, getting fucking vaccinated. So stop it. Humble yourself.
Literally could have been, man.
Anybody. But there was something about you that the Most High knew from the womb that he wanted to use you. And some of y'all still gonna be just like Judas, just like Cephas in the Matrix, and you're gonna go back into the world even though you were selected to see it. That's a pity. That's a shame. So you have to be careful about that. Be careful with your actions. Be careful with the things you say, including ourselves. This is including all of us, including me, including Dutch. We all need to strive to reach the Most High. We have to reach that 10th level of consciousness. That's Yahweh. We have to, and don't be hard on one another. People make mistakes. Come on, look at King David and other people. Like, they made some crazy ass decisions. For you to set up a nigga to take his wife, come on. But that's King David, and the Most High love King David. So y'all's gonna work with those, but you gotta be careful. You can't play both sides, and you gotta change. 2022 year of change. I don't have nothing else to say. Did you want to say anything else, Dutch, or close something?
What's our 2022 predictions?
Good way to close. Whew. This is a hard one, because I feel like before a lot of the predictions definitely came to pass in 2020 year Doom and in 2021 year Warfare. This year, I think there could be potential civil unrest. I think so. If they try to fully mandate everything on some next level stuff, I think a lot of people are going to bite back.
The uprising, I hope.
I think the uprising is going to happen this year. I do. What do you think? What are some other predictions?
They need that civil uprising, but I mean, the only reason why I feel like the civil uprising won't happen is because they keep on coercing people into getting the shot already. So, by the time they put the gas light on and say, hey, everybody who ain't vaccinated, you gotta get the fuck out your companies starting next week. And the moment that happened, it's going to be already a good amount of niggas already vaccinated that ain't going nowhere. So, that overflow is just going to be there. It's not going to be much of a, much beef. I know over in Europe and the UK, though, they giving it a filthy against the vaccine. Like, they marching by the thousands and the thousands and the thousands, and they're against that shit. I don't know why the United States is so soft, or maybe we're just not hearing about it. My predictions, I feel like Same shit that happens every year. It's going to happen. But I feel like Biden might get up out the office sooner than we think.
Might be a new
might die.
variant.
There's definitely going to be another variant.
There's going to be some new symptoms that might be like Songbird, where it will affect the brain. Honestly, we know more celebrities are going to die. They might take down Hollywood. Who knows? Out of this Ghislaine Maxwell, some people feel like she ain't gonna serve her time. You know these niggas is all connected. They're all pedophiles.
Shit, they had some prince and he's in the mix of that shit.
Yeah, the reptilian, part of the royal family.
Yo, listen.
Prince Harry. Not Prince Harry.
Nah, some other one. Philip or some shit. The other
I think
brother.
they father. No, they father.
The father.
The brother.
Yeah, he's in the mix of that shit.
Yeah, whatever. Listen,
and no one's talking about that shit.
Honestly, they might bring down Hollywood this year. Listen, the goal is 2030. Y'all, this little time span, not too many years in between. All right. So they definitely have to kick off stuff. If they're talking about this is the declaration year of sustainable development, basic sciences for sustainable development, and they mention the vaccinations and the DNA, yeah, it's going to be some crazy stuff that's going to kick off. But, that's that.
Yep, going to be a lot of evil shit. That's all. Just a lot of evil shit, a lot of retarded people. And, we going to fight the good fight. I'm with all the smoke. I've been with all the smoke for a while now, but I'm with all the smoke. So, whoever want to bring that smoke, bring it. You better bring it. You better step.
Word.
You better step properly. You better come with it.
I said what I said. I think that there's going to be civil unrest. I think they're going to pull more freaking variant names out of their asses. I think they're going to mandate the final shutdown may happen this year. Mm-hmm. Okay. That is a good possibility. And another good possibility is these zombies. I don't know. What is a year of your DNA changed going to do?
Oh, yeah.
That is the question.
Niggas being vaxxed up. If you ain't have nothing happen now or within the last few months, it's cool. We clearly said it's going to take about 2 to 7 years before this shit to take to a full effect. So we still waiting to watch what's going to happen to your goofy ass. So if you were right now, you're right now. But we see how your skin look like Clay-Doh now. We see how you acting now. Okay, we see how you keep coughing and getting sick every few months, right on time for them to make you get your next shot. We watching that. Okay.
All right, everybody. We're gonna play The Righteous Speaks now. Thank you guys again for participating. We love y'all much. All right, Barakatha.
Barakatha.
Shalom to Argentina. This is Mauricio here. I just wanted to give my take on your question. I believe that fate and free will can exist as long as you realize Yah is in charge and you give him his due as Father, Creator, and Master. Yah will allow you to experience different events that may be at the borders of his laws, statutes, and commandments. But he may stop you before you really cross the line and may keep you from fully screwing up if he really sees you as someone that he can work with, someone that really belongs to him. This may cause him to allow you to get hurt or to fall so that you can lean on his understanding and not your own. You have the choice to do different things, but it has to fall within what he deems as correct. You can think of free will as the ability to love his laws above yourself and above your ego. And this could be used by him to show that you are worthy of him. So, it's a complicated topic. It's a complicated question. But I do believe that both can exist so long as you realize that Yah is the one that allows you to do that. Barakatha.
Shalom, family. So to answer the question, can fate and free will coexist? Personally, It's a tough one because we see what happens. Like, for example, with Adam and Eve, they're given, they were told, do not eat of the fruit of the tree. They ate from it, and then they got free will. But can fate and free will, that's a tough one. Personally, as long as it's the Most High and the Son that's over us, I don't need free will. I'm cool with just being there, just being even a servant, just a humble servant. But sometimes free will is just too much, because we can just see, even if we're looking just from a human point of view, we're looking at the countries right now. A lot of countries that have too much free will just go crazy. We're looking at the States, the Western countries. It's too much. People just go wild, and it's just way too much. I personally believe it just can't work. So as long as, we have the Most High and He's the one who's our main and the controller of everything that's going on, I'm okay. I'm okay with having no free will, because at least I know, He's there. He's our everything.